Ready.
And cancel post. Katie's gonna get 40 notifications because she follows me everywhere I go.
Excuse me?
I said what I said.
Don't say it like that. It sounds creepy. Well,
I wasn't even paying attention because I was making my stupid Nightmare on Bad Street USA thing. I didn't even realize you were still like in wedding garb.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not.
It looks like you are.
I kind of wish you were still in the bridesmaid dress, though.
Why?
That would have been awesome for the show. How would that?
No, as soon as I got home, I took that fucking thing off because it's so much fabric, and just it was so much. I drove home in it, and I mean my hair is still kind of up. I took my clip out, and my makeup's still done. But yeah, that's about it.
Your best friend's here, Will.
Oh, what's up, Jadis? It's good to see you, bud.
Oh, here we go.
We were just talking about.
Guess I should bring this in a frame.
When Tina was here. When Tina was playing trivia the other night. And, yeah.
Dude.
Listen.
Oh, boy.
What?
Nothing.
Yeah. Just remember what Matt said in the chat after trivia.
Come on.
No.
Will just got high. You can't expect him to remember that.
I've also been drinking for 2 hours.
2 days ago?
I genuinely don't know.
I did not watch AEW Collision. I watched Fastlane, and I don't know what time Collision came on. I assumed it was coming on at the same time as Fastlane, so...
Oh, wait. I think it started at 7.
It started at 6 p.m. on normal people time.
Oh, so 7.
So it would have gone in... So it would have gone an hour into Fastlane. And yeah, I didn't watch it. I saw what happened, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw what happened, though, so...
Choices were made, and those choices don't make any goddamn sense.
If you're in CST, it was 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you were in the future, like Katie, it was 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Somebody come get her. She's dancing like a stripper.
Hey,
Oh,
there's... What?
That was delayed, but it did it. Did you hear that? Could you hear that, Will?
I did.
What?
The Katie getting loud and then going back to normal volume thing.
I've been talking.
Delayed. It fairly delayed. I don't know.
It just got real loud too.
Fuck this.
Why are you just wrecking speakers, Katie?
I didn't do anything. This just happens.
Will does be dancing like a stripper.
Will do be
or a striper, depending on how maybe like a candy striper. I don't know how well candy strippers dance. Will.
Don't act like you're not impressed. That's all I'm saying.
Impressed.
He said
all right, let's get this show on the road.
Yeah.
Why are there so many things here? All right, 3, 2.
No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to Smack It Raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the number one wrestling podcast on Pornhub, the Smackin It Raw Podcast. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and I'm here with my co-hosts this evening. She is host of the She-Lead Showcase, Inside the Mind, In the Crowd, Story Time with Miss Katie Kinzy Bebe, also Cater Tot, Goddess of Guap, Rookie of the Year, Goddess of the Gangland as well, because Guap is money and you have a lot of it. You just keep buying wrestling tickets and going on vacations and shit. She's rich, gentlemen, and single. And ladies, because she goes both ways.
I am single. I am not rich.
Heir to the Kinder dynasty, whether it's care or chocolate, one of the two.
Just because I like chocolate doesn't mean I'm the heir.
Well, I would say you love chocolate.
I do.
Kind of like Kel loves orange soda, you love chocolate.
I do.
And purveyor of Rivet City Radio, host of Botch Spots and Chair Shots, Nerdy News at 420, co-host of The Boom on occasion, man who does interviews with indie wrestlers, and all sorts of other amazing things for your entertainment on Twitch and YouTube. The Will Gray.
I've decided to do two things for this episode. I've been on Smackin It Raw a while. I love you guys. I'm honored to be the honorary ooze. Two things are going to happen tonight. One, I'm going to attempt to make it the entire episode without cussing. I'm going to see how long I can make it.
Why?
I just thought about it, just for fun. Okay, 7 minutes.
I did that once. It was awful.
I haven't cussed yet. So I'm going to see how far I can make it into the episode without cussing. And two, my list tonight is absolutely no order whatsoever. So I apologize ahead of time when it seems like I have the most ADHD list on the possible planet.
But see, here's the thing. Like, it just kind of happens, and I guess it's easier if you take notes that way to keep track of where you are in your notes. But there's not a rule that we go through the week in wrestling in the order. Like, anyone can start anywhere because we have people like you who watch things like GCW. We have friends who like Impact Wrestling. I was going to start watching Impact Wrestling because of Killer Kelly, and then realized that it's not in my TV package, and then I didn't care to look any further than that. We're going to talk about my TV package and my package in general and how it's not big enough.
Excuse me?
The TV one and the TNT thing or the TBS thing that happened for Dynamite.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
We have friends that watch shit outside of the purview of WWE and AEW. So there's never really an order. I kind of like it when I focus on one show and Katie focuses on one show and Vince, who won't be here for a month, at least that's what he says, kind of focuses, and we kind of jump around. We spread things out a little bit. You know, I don't want people sitting here like, oh, well, I wanted to hear AEW and I didn't want to have to sit through NXT and Raw before I got there. Like, spread it around. Speaking of spreading it around, I want to thank everyone. If you're joining us over at twitch.tv/Creation World, Katie, trust me, I'm going to get there. You're not going to like it, so you can make all those faces. Just keep them going. Twitch.tv/Creation World. If you have your Amazon Prime account, you have Prime Gaming. You can link your Prime Gaming to your Twitch account, and you can get a free sub every month that you can give to your favorite Twitch streamer. You can do like I do and switch between Creation World and Rivet City Radio, unless you have someone nice like Tommy who just gifts you a sub so you don't have to watch ads on Rivet City Radio when it's not their month. Allison, give me shit in the chat. Or any of your favorite Twitch streamers, show them some support. Take that money out of Jeff Bezos' pocket, give it to them, help support them so they can continue to create the content that you enjoy and continue to come on and do the things that you like. It is free to do all that at YouTube. It is free to like, to subscribe, to comment. Will, what does that do?
It boosts the algorithm and it helps find new listeners.
It does. And we like new listeners because at least 2/3 of us are whores, giant fucking whores. And we want you to share us with as many people as possible. Fucking use us. Spread us around. Let as many people enjoy us and what we have to offer as possible. I say 2/3 of us because I know 2/3 of us will consent to that. 1/3 of us may or may not. I will let her speak for herself. I choose not to speak for her.
I will kill
But
anyone.
I am a giant podcast whore, and I want to be inside as many people's orifices, like their ears, as possible, as often as possible. So share us.
Sharing is caring, right? It's not the first.
And if you want to know when I'm coming to YouTube, you can flick your bean up top, that little notification bell. Flick it while I'm coming. You'll know when I'm coming to YouTube for all of our shows, whether it is Monday through Friday for the Creation Conversation. It is Saturday nights at this time, normally 11 p.m. We went a little early. We had a pay-per-view to talk about. We jumped the gun a little bit, but we're here for Smackin It Raw, or every other Sunday, like tomorrow, where you can catch us talking for Getting Off, fantasy booking Michael Myers tomorrow, and the future of the Halloween franchise, where it might end up and what we want to see. So if that interests you, come back tomorrow, 11 p.m. Central, midnight Eastern. Get in on that conversation. It's going to be the core four. It is going to be the Warden, Matt Ritter. It is going to be Miss Katie Kinzy Bebe. It is going to be Wreak Havoc. It is going to be your boy Just, who just learned today that it is the Sistine Chapel, not the 16 Chapel, because I taught him that. Go check his Twitter.
Okay.
We will all be here for your enjoyment, talking horror in the month of October.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
the thing I kind of created, invented, started, podcasting, wrestling podcasting, horror podcasting, nerd news podcasting on Pornhub. My idea came to you directly from me. You can go to pornhub.com/model/creation world, see all of the videos that Pornhub has allowed us to put up, including 2 exclusive watch-alongs featuring The Rack and Miss Katie Kinzy Bebe. One of those has Will, one of those has Just. All of them have DP. So...
Truth.
Go check out our exclusive Pornhub porn parody watch-alongs. Yes, also that DP. Unfortunately, the DP boys are separated tonight because I didn't have any and I didn't go to the store today. Instead, I went and saw Exorcist the Believer. So, see, there you go. Just said, let's spread together. We got like 9 comments there, Katie.
Well, you were doing the thing. I didn't get the chance.
It's okay. It's okay. Other than that, I think it's time. Katie's time. News and rumor time.
Well, boy, oh boy, do I get to start with the fun one. Matt's favorite new phrase. Ariane Andrews has created a promotion called Pound Town Wrestling. The first show is October 12th, and it is 21 and over.
I am so excited for this because this is everything that I've always wanted in a wrestling promotion. Listen, we here at the Smackin It Raw podcast, we try to ride the fine line between respecting the art and profession of wrestling and the people that do it, and also thirsting really hard for these sexy motherfuckers that are in professional wrestling. We try to stay respectful and realize that it's a two-way street, because I've always said that you can have professional wrestling and then you can have the sex appeal. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You don't have to sacrifice one for the other. If there are talent who are more comfortable, like say a Mandy Rose, who is a very good in-ring wrestler, became a very capable in-ring wrestler, but was more comfortable or just comfortable showcasing the sex appeal side, wants to do that, I think we can have it. Telling me that the show is 21 and over probably means that they're serving alcohol there and that's it. But it also tells me that there could be a little bit more sex appeal in the wrestling. I am still waiting for someone to want to do a show where we review old episodes of NWWL, Nude Women's Wrestling League, hosted by Carmen Electra. That is my goal. That's what I want. Neither here nor there. It's a thing. Carmen Electra had her own wrestling ring, and it was all women's wrestling ring, and they wrestled naked, like actual professional wrestling, butt ass naked. Jimmy Hart was there. April Hunter was there. It's a thing. neither here nor there. We do try and ride that fine line. And naming your promotion Pound Town so that if it comes to my area, I can say I'm taking my wife, I'm taking my friends to Pound Town is fucking fantastic. It makes me the happiest boy in the world to ask people if they want me to take them to Pound Town, if they'll go to Pound Town with me. I'm going to kill this. I'm going to drive it into the ground. I'm going to ruin it. People are going to fucking hate it by the time I'm done with it. And I do not care.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're just
That was great.
excited.
I think 16 minutes. I really think that the reason why we found out Alexis Fox was training to become a pro wrestler, something like this makes that way more apparent as to why it's happening. Because Alexis Fox is the perfect blend and crossover for the adult 21 and up industry and pro wrestling.
Also, speaking of Mandy Rose, she did say that we might see her sooner rather than later. We know that there are various wrestlers who have various forms of OnlyFans and things like that, including Velvet Sky, who has a Fansly, where you can see pretty much everything you wanted to see from TNA in the early 2000s that you didn't get to. Go check it out, pay her, respect her, go see all the stuff you want to see that you didn't get to. So, I mean, with the boom of OnlyFans, Fansly, Fan Time, all of these things, and a promotion that allows it, like, I have always wanted like an HBO Max, or I guess just Max, or a Showtime professional wrestling show that did what professional wrestling does, but for adults in an adult's way. Where
poor.
the swearing, no, because I want the wrestling, but I also okay, is Game of Thrones porn?
Depends on who you ask.
It's not.
No,
but you have the language, you have nudity, you have adult themes. I want professional wrestling for adults.
Okay.
I'm not asking people to go out and fuck in the middle of the ring. Edge and Lita did that, so we're not opposed to it, but I'm not saying that needs to happen. But, more adult themed wrestling is what I was looking for and have been for a long time. So I'm good with this,
Okay. I know it's your favorite thing in the world right now, so.
Did we do it here or was it on Botch Spots where we did the finishers as sex positions?
I don't remember.
You remember doing that though?
I do.
Is that a fever dream that I made up in my head? That is something we've done together, right? We've done so much together, Matt.
Was it on Get Yo?
I don't remember. Was that a sweaty session?
It sounds like a sweaty session, unless I did like an homage to a sweaty session, because I do those. Because sweaty sessions are awesome.
Did we do it on the Get Yo takeover? I don't know. But anyways, I digress. It's your show. But I was like, that's the perfect thing. Like thinking about like ways to adapt wrestling moves into adult-oriented positions. A power bomb, for instance. That's the perfect position for certain things in the bedroom.
No, we definitely did do that though. It was a real thing. We also did saw traps as sex positions. That was a thing.
Oh, we did.
What else you got, Katie?
I was there for that one. Okay, so I guess this happened at Wrestle Dream, and there hasn't been a show since. Adam Copeland, the rated R superstar, is now All Elite Wrestling, which I have said it many a time. If that's how he wants to go out, let him go out like that. It's his fucking career.
Justin said it was Botch Spots and it was an homage. Listen, all I've seen is the idiocy, idiocracy. I don't think it's a real word, but it's a movie of the IWC. People being mad and calling Edge a traitor for going to AEW. We'll talk about Jade Cargill, and all of the tribalism. And I've even seen people try to defend it and be like, "Oh, so tribalism's okay in like sports with football, but it's toxic in wrestling." Blah blah blah. Like,
No, it's toxic everywhere.
it's toxic everywhere. It really is. If you're shitting, like, it's okay to support something and like something. It's okay to be like, I'm a Bears fan and I want to see the Bears do good. It is not okay to wish harm, to wish on the fans of, on the players of another team, just so that your end goal is the right outcome. To shit on, to shit talk, to denigrate a group of people because of the jerseys that they wear, or the team that they got drafted to, or the team that they decided to sign and play for whatever their reasons, is not okay. It's not in any form. We see it in comic books with Marvel versus DC. You see it in wrestling. You see it in pretty much every fucking medium. There are toxic fans everywhere, and they're awful, and every medium thinks that they have the worst toxic fans. It's not okay. If you're upset that Edge decided that he wanted to wrestle more and do things like maybe go to New Japan, maybe go to Ring of Honor, maybe go to GCW, and have that freedom to do so and wrestle more, and you think he is a traitor for leaving and going and doing something that his entire career he has not had the chance to do, coming near the end of that career, you are the problem, not Edge. And if you don't agree with me, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Seek counseling. Get professional help. Watch Katie's stream. She has links so you can call people to get the help you need.
Yeah, I do. Every show. They're right there.
What Edge is doing in AEW, it could be the worst thing for his career. It could be the best thing, but it was his decision. I am happy for him. I will continue to support and watch him over there because I'm a fan of Edge. Adam Copeland.
Adam.
I personally think that Jade Cargill is in a much better position in WWE than she was in AEW. I feel like the product in WWE is suited to her and how they're going to present her and treat her. She, as of now, is not on the in-ring level of the women in AEW, even though Tony doesn't feature them enough so that you can see that. However, you don't need to be in WWE. You don't need to be a Bryan Danielson. You don't need to be, Kazuchika Okada or whatever the fuck his name is, Katsukuchi Uganda. You don't need to be that in WWE. You can be Hulk Hogan, unfortunately. You can be John Cena. You can have 5 or 6 powerful moves, sell, get yourself through a match, get the fuck over, sell a shit ton of merchandise, and be popular as fuck without putting on a 10-star classic in the Tokyo Dome. That's not what WWE is.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck not? We're getting
500 stars in the Tokyo Dome. I mean, Justin's talking about like what Edge did podcasting wise. I left the podcast I was on and started my own, and now I'm here. So like, yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people that left an AEW brand to come to a WWE brand and hang out.
Just like 5 of us, maybe, give or take.
3 or 4.
This guy.
Him too.
Who?
Him.
That's why I said 3 or 4.
Yeah.
The normal guy, Katie, and then him and his boss.
Yeah. Yeah. I was close. Counting numbers. I don't fucking know.
What else got Katie?
Garcia twins, formerly known as Bella twins, hosting a identical twin reality dating show called Twin Love. Basically, they're taking, I don't remember how many sets of identical twins and splitting them into 2 houses to see if identical twins have like the same taste in people as like, because identical twins usually like talk the same, dress the same, look alike, like all of that kind of stuff. So I guess it's a social experiment.
So a set of twins who didn't marry another set of identical twins are hosting a show where they take identical twin sets and force them into a situation to see if they can make compatible partners.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the gist. Yeah.
Okay.
Could you imagine how short the list is of people they had to even get on this fucking show?
I think there was like 12 pairs
25
of
minutes.
identical twins.
Son of a bitch.
Hey, you got
Like-
further than you expected.
Think about how few people there are on the planet that are identical twins. Like, this was a shoo-in. If you were an identical twin, a set of identical twins, you were like, this is your one shot to get on TV.
Your one,
And it is kind of basically a sibling orgy.
one opportunity.
So, question.
Uh-oh.
Katie, cover your ears because you're not gonna want to partake in this. If you're an identical twin and you get yourself into a situation where you and your identical twin are sleeping with one other person, however that may go, is it just kind of like masturbation because you're identical? Like, or is that still...
I'm just gonna focus on some more of this.
Okay. Here's the thing. All right. The fingerprints are different. Right?
I don't know. I don't know
I don't
how
know. Do identical twins
I
have
do
the same
understand. I do understand that they are two separate people. However, if you are identical almost to a T and everything is identical, I mean, if Will and I were identical twins and we jerked each other off, is that just masturbation or is that incest? That's what I'm getting at here.
It's incest.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
What if you're Siamese twins conjoined at the hip, but there are two penises, but you're conjoined at the hip?
And you only have one left arm and one right arm?
Correct.
And your right arm jerking your left dick and left arm jerking your right dick?
Yes.
Like,
I have questions.
that's just masturbation at this point.
That's what I'm getting at. So anyway, what else do you have, Katie?
I hate you so very much.
What was the Bella twins? I was like, where the fuck did this even come from?
Yeah. The Garcia twins, formerly known as the Bella twins.
See, Allison's on the same page here. That's what you call them.
Okay, anyways. The last thing I had, because I haven't been like focusing on anything the past 2 days, is Adam Cole said on his Twitch stream that he has to get 2 surgeries on his ankle and has to get 4 screws and then a plate in his ankle. And he's
It's really good to see him
gonna be out for a long time
on a stream.
I'm not arguing with you about this.
Are you under the impression that it's work?
I'm under the impression that he's under the mask and he is the devil and set Max up, and it was the Kingdom out there doing their thing, and he's not really hurt. I mean, I watched him move furniture on Wednesday.
On one
How hurt could he be?
ankle. He was on his scooter.
What was that? IKEA furniture? I don't think so. That shit had to be heavy. He needed both feet.
I can't stand you.
That couch weighed more than he did.
Hey,
There's no way he did it on one leg.
Don't worry, we'll shit on Charlotte later. Everything will be even.
You know what? Yeah. Fuck Charlotte.
We'll get there.
I would love to.
For the record, if you guys are unaware, we are covering Fastlane tonight, and we are going to do it the way we have done it the last 2 Saturday pay-per-views, where we talk about it at the end. So please refrain from bringing Fastlane up in your spits and swallows until we get to it.
Aye, Captain.
Will's making notes. That's it.
That's literally all I had. Like I said, I don't know if anything happened yesterday or today because I haven't been on my phone really.
All right. Spits or swallows? I like a good wild card. Will, start us off. What do you got?
Okay. It's a simultaneous spit and swallow, but it's not a gargle because it's like if you were to, have fellatio with identical twins. Okay.
Okay.
It would be like taking two separate things and swallowing one half and spitting the other half. Okay. And that is Josh Alexander and Alex Shelley going head to head at Bound for Glory. These are Impact guys, Matt.
Okay.
Josh Alexander and Alex Shelley building for the Impact World title at Bound for Glory. Huge, biggest pay-per-view of the year for them. Two of their biggest stars. Great build with Alexander coming back from injury. But at the same time, I'm spitting a little bit of this build because Alex Shelley is using this shell shock again now, which is his version. And I'm not a big fan of like it becoming a mainstream thing now because I don't actively remember him using it up until this point.
No, here we
He
go.
has in the past, and I may be blinded by it, but I don't remember it being a thing. So I love the idea of him and Alexander having a match. I might be blinded by the fact that I just don't remember it, but I had to look up what the shell shock was because I was like, that didn't. And then I realized that's the Sister Abigail. So yeah.
I didn't expect to rant this much at the beginning of the show on every subject that we've talked about. However, good thing I don't have a whole lot of spits and swallows for the week. And I know Katie doesn't because she missed like half the shows this week. So
I was busy.
I know you were. I'm not knocking you for it. I'm saying it's a good thing that I'm ranting now and filling up time because all right. So on the She Leech showcase this past Wednesday, if you haven't seen it, I in the chat had a discussion with Thursday, Wednesday, whenever it was. I had a chat. It's available. You can go check it out. It's out now. You can watch it today. That's what's important. Don't worry about when it aired.
Yeah.
She'll tell you when it airs at the end of the show when she plugs herself in front of everyone.
That's what I do best.
Anyway, I had a chat with Savannah. We discussed the super kick and my issues with the way that the super kick is used. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that the super kick has kind of become a DDT, which I don't necessarily have a problem with as long as when someone delivers it, which we'll talk about later because someone did it nicely tonight, it's actually kind of sold and used for a pinfall. I have it in my notes. I'll talk about it. It's there.
Okay.
My issue is when someone gets super kicked and then kips up and then gets super kicked and then kips up and then gets kicked and then goes down. And it makes it seem like the move has lost all effectiveness whatsoever. I do not like seeing finishers in general just become random everyday uses. I mean, we had guys like Raven still doing the even flow DDT as a finisher after Jake Roberts. Even though other people were using the DDT as a transitional move, it was still kind of kept in that sphere of done by a certain person in a certain way. It's still effective. Cactus Jack was doing the double arm DDT. John Moxley is still kind of doing a double arm DDT. It's pretty much a suplex at this point, the way he does it, but neither here nor there.
He does both, yeah.
Edge did was it Edge did DDT for a while? Or Gangrel.
Edge.
One of them did the Impaler DDT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Edge.
So people still used it even when the move was being used. It was still used as a finisher. There was still that opportunity to use it as a finisher.
Yeah.
The Rock would do it and he'd go for a pin afterwards. He'd do his nice little float over DDT. Like, it's just about how you use it and not devaluing it. I know Jay White is using Bray Wyatt's finisher and Bray's dead, and I don't care who did it first. It's going to be Bray Wyatt's finisher, and that's just the way it is. It's the Sister Abigail, and anyone else doing it is just copying him. Now, Alex Shelley, who, if I'm correct, is the Impact World Champion. See, I know things. Bringing it back. He used to use it. He's using it now. I don't want to see this become another one of those moves where everyone starts doing it and then it just becomes another transitional move. I don't like seeing finishers become transitional moves. That's all I was going to say.
Okay. Doesn't Cody Rhodes technically also kind of do a Sister Abigail?
No.
No.
The Crossroads and Sister Abigail are very different.
Okay, well, I'll just go fuck myself because apparently I know nothing. So,
Well, no, I mean, if you look at it, the way it's set up, where the Crossroads is set up in kind of like a reverse DDT,
yeah.
whereas the Sister Abigail, instead of the person leaning back underneath the arm, they're leaning forward and being held in kind of a hugging position, but just kind of bent the opposite way.
Okay. So, I mean,
So
it's
it is
close.
Yeah, it's more of a spinning STO, I guess.
See, now you're just saying letters.
Well, yes,
the
I am
fuck
just
is it?
saying letters, but you don't know what an STO is?
No.
You need to
What
play
the
more
fuck is-
2K.
Okay. If you
No.
bent over, if you were doing the Sister Abigail and
Okay.
you bent forward, you would kiss the person on the forehead the way Bray did. If you were
I know
doing
where
the
you're going with this.
Crossroads and you bent forward to kiss the person the way Bray does, you would be kissing their junk.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Yeah.
So you see what I mean?
So
It's the difference in the bend in the hips. So you're either like kissing somebody or you're 69ing them, depending on which
I was gonna
move
say,
it is.
it's a difference between which head you're kissing.
Yeah. That's bingo. That's the one.
Actually, I've never said anything.
What's up, Jax Bo and Brocast? Glad you guys are here.
Everybody's here.
Um,
Yay.
Well, Katie, now that we know that, never mind. I'm not even going to do that to you. You're spit or swallow.
Well, now you're gonna have to tell me after because I'm gonna want to know what you're gonna fucking.
I was just going to say, now that we know which head you want to kiss, spit or swallow. But
I hate you so much.
see, that's why I didn't say it.
I was gonna say that regardless. Okay, well, I'll go to Dynamite since TBS was giving you issues, which you can talk
I went
about.
back and I watched it only because I saw Tony Storm had the grip of death on Cake.
Timeless Tony Storm. You know what? Fuck it. I'll start there. Sure. I'm swallowing Timeless Tony Storm. That is now her name. She had a nice vignette, video package. I don't even know what they're calling him anymore. Interview, I guess, with RJ City, as they have been doing the past few weeks. And now she's in full 1940s disheveled movie star, like Betty Davis type shit. Her mascara is like smeared. Her lipstick is smeared. And that's how she's like coming out to the ring. Had a fantastic match with Sky Blue, who is showing effects of getting misted from Julia Hart. Nice little Easter egg that they keep doing. Same thing with Willow. They did the same thing. I love it. And that match was fucking phenomenal. Of course, the only women's match on the card because Tony Khan hates women. But what a fucking match to have on your card. So, You hate
Wait,
what?
do you hate? Because I'm all for the Convent of Black
yes.
or the Coven of Black, whichever way you want to go.
Yeah. Because, like, if I can't have Live for Brutality, I need Julia Hart to have a stable. But, like, she's also about to get married, so she's going to be off TV for a little bit, which sucks for me.
Well, I mean, it took a while for her to turn, and I wasn't a big fan of the way they went about it. The gimmick. You hate Tony's gimmick? You hate Timeless Tony Storm? Is that what you're saying? Because that is fucking amazing. Like,
She said it was
literally-
cool at first. That's my friend who doesn't even watch wrestling said that sounds fucking amazing.
Tony not wanting to talk about time, but she is timeless and a little bit insane has been fantastic. Literally put Sky Blue against the guardrail and yelled titty slaps and then chest chopped her.
Which she did right after she said, and now a word from our wonderful sponsors
Sarah.
going into picture-in-picture.
Yes. Like,
Beautiful.
she
That was
knew
amazing.
that they were, it was fantastic. I fucking loved it. I love Tony Storm. I love the fact that we'll do it now. We'll talk about it twice now. Tony is just in a gravitational cake pull because it was Sky Blue on Wednesday and Kira Hogan tonight. Like, the most cake in AEW in matches during the week together.
I did see a GIF of Kira Hogan double slapping the cake of Tony.
Thank you, Off the Top Media.
So I'm about it.
Like,
Fucking love Tony Storm.
And listen, Sky Blue, because like I said, we ride that fine line, and Sky Blue has become a fantastic wrestler. Side note, just for funsies, indie stuff. Even though technically it's Athena, Sky Blue was given the Warrior Women's Championship, and is kind of technically Warrior Women's Champion right now, even though it's still technically Athena. It's a thing that they have going on. Yeah, see, I know stuff outside of two promotions. Will, I'm not crazy. Anyway, fantastic wrestler, really coming along, great talent. Also, and there's a lot of competition, but honestly, for my money, arguably the best ass in wrestling. Hands down. Like, Gigi's up there. Sky might have her beat. Bailey has probably the best body in wrestling, period, but she hides it.
Pam got cakes and she hides it for a reason because she knows we're all fucking sick perverts.
Exactly.
Agreed.
So,
she's a smart lady.
On display, Sky Blue probably best ass in wrestling. On display.
I love Tony Storm. Like, big time.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of choices. Rhea Ripley's also a great choice. Always.
I mean, yes, the entire NXT roster does have cakes, but not Sky Blue cakes.
Gigi
not Kira Hogan cakes. Gigi, like I said, Gigi has a fantastic ass. She really does. She does. She also has really bad taste in men. Is what it
she
is.
does.
Also true.
It's like I thought I had bad taste in men. God damn.
Nikita.
Yeah, Fakita.
Fakita.
Yeah. Like I said arguably. You can make arguments. That's just my personal opinion.
That's
what
just
I like in
a
cake.
whole other show.
For what I like in cake, Sky Blue's got it. It is what it is.
Patreon only.
The great cake debate.
The great.
Oh my god, I'm writing it down for you later for reasons.
Appreciate that.
Great cake.
Well, as of now, Pound Town is still the title of this show, but we'll see.
Well, I know, but great cake debate is pretty funny.
Great cake debate.
Let's stay crazy. The only other thing I have for Rampage / Collision, Danhausen vignette coming soon with the Silver Shamrock jingle in the background for all you Halloween and Halloween 3 fans. Him doing the very nice, very evil to the tune of the Silver Shamrock was great. He even had it on the old TV and the bouncing head, and the homage was there for October, and I loved it. It's the only thing on Rampage that I actually gave a fuck about, and Tony and Kira was the only thing outside of new tag team champions that someone may or may not talk about that I cared about on Collision. So from what I saw, because I didn't watch it.
You tweeted that Danhausen did that, and I right after you said that, I saw a tweet that had it, and I was grinning from ear to ear. That was so amazing. I fucking love Danhausen.
They did it on Rampage, and so Danhausen was on Rampage, not Collision. Which no one also watches Rampage really. So
no one also Collision. Like, I say that as I go to a Collision next month that is on the same day as Survivor Series. Nobody watches Collision because of pay-per-views in WWE.
I agree.
I hope that with it being a little bit of a homage to Halloween and a spooky Danhausen, that when he comes back, we get a little bit more of the Ring of Honor Danhausen
than
the AEW Danhausen.
Yeah, where he was very, very evil Danhausen.
Yes, that's the one I want. Nice. Jars of teeth Danhausen,
which he did have once in AEW.
And maybe if we can get that over, we can fucking get the devil's thickest demon Abaddon back on fucking TV, either on a Wednesday, a Friday, or a Saturday, please.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's October.
It's Halloween.
Please bring her out for October. Just once. Just put her on my TV once. It's motherfucking October.
If she doesn't show up at the Halloween show, Tony Khan is getting a strongly worded email.
You know what she would be great in? She'd be great in NXT for Halloween Havoc. I'm just saying, if we're sending people over WWE, this would be a great thing we could do on NXT.
Just have her show up in like one of the haunted houses that they're probably gonna do, just as a one-time crossover, as a little pop, and then she can just go back to AEW.
No, fuck that, because they're not using her in AEW. Have her do that and let that be her debut, and then she comes out of the haunted house and she's a wrestler and she's just around and she's doing Abaddon in NXT, because women get time in NXT. NXT was pretty much 90% women this week.
I know. Yeah, but like, well, I mean, that was what Su Yung was. No, Su Yung? No, that's a different person. Fuck. What was Karen Q's character before she was Karen? Wendy Chu. Fuck. It's gonna piss me the fuck off.
I was gonna say Lee May, but that's a Mortal Kombat character.
May
Young?
Is it May Young?
It's not May Young. May Young is a 90-year-old woman bully raped power bomb to her hand and gave birth to
Mei Ying.
Mei Ying.
God damn it, we were so close. That was gonna piss me off. But yeah, but since she's gone and Wendy Chu's also off TV, Abaddon.
Let's do it, Nick Khan. I'd love that all women's show. Fuck yes.
I want to be at that all women's show, and I will do whatever for that show. I'll commentate. I'll in-ring announce. I'll backstage correspond. I'll do whatever. Let me on your fucking shows.
Somebody clip Katie saying, "I'll do whatever for that."
No.
Just that. I'll do whatever for that.
Don't.
That's what we need.
No. I'm so sick of clips of mine getting taken out of fucking context and being used against me for the rest of my life.
I do love that, like, the indie thing is hot dogs and handshakes, but I always say hot dogs and hand jobs. I'm working for hot dogs and hand jobs here. Speaking of hot dogs and hand jobs, Will, spit or swallow?
I'm trying to debate. I do have one from Collision, and I'm pretty sure that anybody knows anything about me could see this one coming from 1,000 million miles away. I'm spitting anything to do with FTR dropping the tag titles to a half thrown together Ricky Starks and Big Bill. Like, that's not the move. Something has to be up. I'm not saying that Cash is going to jail for the pew pew thing. I'm not saying that Dax is like long-term injured and isn't going to be around because he broke his rib and got he's got an owie. Like, we know Tony.
We're not saying that they asked for their release because the only person that they gave a fuck about in the company got fired. And they want to go with him wherever he goes.
No. They like Edge. They helped bring Edge back to career status. So they like Edge.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Sort of. But my point is, they were lining up for FTR Young Bucks, and they took the belts off of them. And I worry that not only did they take them off of FTR too soon, but now the TNT title did it. The international title is doing it. Now the tag titles are doing it. Jay White is walking around with the world title that he didn't win. Like, it's hard to take any title seriously if they change hands every time they're shown on TV. Like, what's up?
You know what title isn't doing that?
What?
The TBS title.
He already did.
Yeah, Allison, he already did.
Yeah, I made it 25 minutes.
Yeah, Allison, you missed it.
Yeah, TBS title's not being hot potatoed.
Not the TBS
Women's
TNT, rather. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, it's really hard to hot potato a title that rarely gets a match, or only gets featured. You can only have one women's match a show, and they're putting Chris Statlander in tag team matches and shit. So
I think I misspoke when I said TBS and not TNT. So
no, you said TNT. I was just saying, like, that's like the women's titles aren't.
Was this a response to FTR filing a copyright for CMFTR?
No. I do think MJF is 27 days away from being the longest reigning AEW champion and the most combined days as AEW champion. He'll do both when he sets that record in 27 days.
Well, perfect, because Full Gear is next month, and that's when he's supposed to face Jay White. So, perfect.
Honestly, I get what you're saying, Will, and I understand it. I just don't. I mean, we got Ring of Honor tag team titles on MJF and Adam Cole, and Adam Cole's got a broken ankle, and we've got AEW tag team titles on a team that's been together for like 2-3 weeks, coming off the greatest tag team in AEW, depending on who you ask.
Nothing makes sense over there. I don't know.
No, that's my
I don't
point,
know
though. If there's not something majorly wrong injury-wise, why would they take the belts off now?
Also, why in a company that was like tag team wrestling, we've got the Young Bucks, we've got the Lucha Bros, we've got Top Flight, we've got the Dark Order, we've got everybody, all your tag teams, we got all the tag teams. WWE doesn't do tag teams right. They don't respect tag teams. We got the tag teams. None of the tag team titles under Tony Khan are held by an actual fucking tag team.
I just think it's funny. I don't know.
Rivet City Radio said no spitting FTR losing the belts.
Why?
No. I was saying no, comma. I'm spitting FTR losing the belt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, hey, maybe we do have to fear the revolver. Maybe that's why they took the belts off of him.
I also don't understand how that, like, when Arn Anderson pulled out the Glock, how Arn Anderson being the manager of FTR is not just a thing that is happening.
FT armed Anderson. I said it on She Lead. It's right fucking there.
Why is this not a thing? Anyway.
I'm claiming it for myself. Nobody can use it.
Katie, spit or swallow?
I'm gonna swallow War Daddy coming back. My man, he's home. His hair's looking he's in that weird little stage with his hair. I'm just waiting for it to grow out a little more. He arrived. He powerbomb symphonied. Griff Garrison, who everybody forgot. Who the fuck is Griff Garrison? Everybody forgot he was even in the fucking company. And then just walked the fuck out. Hot. Yes. That's all I need. I was so excited. I squealed. I was like, oh my god, War Daddy's back!
All right.
I was happy.
I'm going to swallow kicking the show off with Nia and Shayna brawling. Raquel showing up for some revenge, and then Rhea showing up, tearing security up as they try to keep them separated. Mommy is not only back on Raw, she then calls the Judgment Day out, blames Damian for Dom's loss because she's like, bitch, I told you to be there and have his back. Where the fuck were you? True. Tells Dom, listen, I got you a rematch. And if you don't come home with the belt, don't bother coming home at all, which leads to a spit later.
Yep.
Jey Uso then interrupts, and soon he's surrounded by Damian, JD, and Dominic. Cody makes the save, and Pierce makes the tag team title match for Fastlane that we will talk about at the end of the show when we cover Fastlane. But all of that in the opening of Raw, big fucking swallow, especially the fact that, like, there's no leader of Judgment Day, but Rhea's the leader of Judgment Day. Dami Mommy is the leader of Judgment Day. She proved it Monday, she proved it Friday, and she proved it tonight. Again, we'll talk about it.
Rhea Ripley has no fucking right to be that attractive and that dominant of a human being. If she did the fucking chin tilt to me, I would have folded in half. How Dom is still standing, I have no fucking idea. Like, that was some of the hottest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Because Rhea is that beautiful of a human being. And she is the tribal chief. Fuck Roman Reigns.
Wow.
From the bit that I saw on Twitter from SmackDown that I didn't get to watch.
Oh, we'll talk about
I
it.
did say that she had the most balls in the locker room after SmackDown on Friday. I was like, Rhea is the most ballsy person in the WWE.
Yeah, you said she was like balls than Roman Reigns, and I think I liked your tweet. I was like, yeah, agree.
Fuck it. We're already talking about it. We're there. So
Yeah.
on SmackDown as well, the Bloodline comes after LA Knight. Cena makes the save. LA Knight challenges Jimmy Uso to a match later, blah, blah, blah. Rhea was looking to merge the Judgment Day and the Bloodline in an unholy alliance Mortal Kombat style. Paul then says, hey, listen, I can't authorize that. I got to make a call. Rhea grabs him. She's like, it's authorized. And he goes, no, I have to. She's like, it's authorized. He's like, no, I have to. She goes, acknowledge me. And he goes, I don't know if you know whose office you're in, but you got to be careful. Say that you're going to acknowledge me. And if you don't acknowledge me, my boys are going to show you why you should have acknowledged me in the first place. And it's not going to be a good night for the Bloodline. Roman's not here. Eventually, during the match, later in the night, Judgment Day comes down. Paul says, it has been authorized. They shake hands. We end the night. Now, ladies and gentlemen, normally this would be something that pissed me off because brand split. But brand split doesn't exist. It's not real. It's not a thing. I'll bitch about it when Survivor Series comes and they try to do brand to brand shit. If they do, like, then I'll have my fit. But right now it doesn't. We ended the night with Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor on one side, John Cena, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, LA Knight, somebody else, I think.
I think it was just the four of them.
It was just the four.
Maybe. On the other side. Huge brawl. Paul Heyman, terrible at pulling out. Tried to pull out. Solo did not respect his wishes to pull out and ended up getting messed up. Big fun brawl. Like it was a good time. The whole thing was a good time. Rhea just making shit happen and being like, acknowledge me. I'm your tribal chief now. I'm Dommy Mommy, bitch. Like, loved it.
That
Tribal
the woman
queen.
she
I hate
is.
you, Justin.
I hate Justin so much. The woman that Rhea Ripley is, it's, I always talk about life isn't fair. Life's really not fair. She can't be that attractive and that good at what she does. Like, it's just not fair. And that I can't be with her, disrespectful.
Very. You got anything else, Will, or you want to do your next spit or swallow?
No, that's it. I can go to my next spit or swallow.
Okay. I didn't want to cut you off without your chance to also acknowledge Dommy Mommy. So
I love Rhea. She's great.
Acknowledge her,
Yeah.
Will.
I acknowledge that Rhea is one of the greatest women's wrestlers.
I'm acknowledging Rhea, all right?
That's-
One's up for the tribal chief, for the tribal queef.
Yeah. Yes, I can get behind that.
Acknowledge Rhea. Come on, Katie.
Yeah.
Join us. Acknowledge her.
No,
Acknowledge Rhea.
I'm not having me do it.
Acknowledge Dommy
here.
Mommy.
No.
Put your threes up.
That's the audio we needed right there. Acknowledge her, and Katie says no. We just need the audio for it. That's all we needed. See, she's
Why
got
am
it
I being
lined up.
sabotaged?
58-45.
Will's not allowed on here anymore.
All right, Will, spit or swallow.
My next swallow is something that, again, that neither of you watched, but it's important if you care about old school wrestling.
So it's not
Matt's
important.
least favorite wrestling promoter on the planet, William Patrick Corbin. I would love to see Rhea kick Roman's ass.
Roman.
Billy is starting to build what he's calling the NWA territories, in model of what they did when they first were founded in Waterloo. He bought, they're called NWA Exodus Pro Wrestling now. It's a territory, and what he's going to do is the NWA Exodus Heavyweight Champion is going to be a recognized territory champion, just like the Mid-Atlantic champion was, just like the Memphis Heavyweight Champion, the Mid-South Heavyweight Champion, all of it. He's starting that again in 2023. So I'm swallowing that.
But he bought it.
Yeah.
So
To make
it's a territory that he owns. Last guy I knew that went and bought a bunch of territories and owned them created something called the WWF, and NWA went bye. So let's be careful on how much love we're throwing at him for going and buying out a bunch of indie promotions to create his own territories when they exist, instead of just bringing the owners into the fold and doing it the way they used to.
See, but I have a rebuttal for that.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, because back in the day, if you go back into the 40s, there was a group of promoters that met in Waterloo, Iowa, because they didn't have the money to continue to fight as a bunch of individual groups anymore. So they had one guy who said, okay, what I can do is if we bankroll it and come at it as a group, we as a group can do more against the system than if we try to fight it as a bunch of individuals. So even back then, when the NWA was originally founded, they were still founded with one dude who bankrolled all these promoters. The only difference is Billy Corgan doesn't have 15 territories signing off at once. He just has one signing. Next, he'll have two.
What I'm saying is it was 15 promoters that came together, not this one guy went and bought 15 promotions. If he had taken the guy who was running Exodus Wrestling and just brought him under the NWA banner and let him run his shows and do his things and not bought the company, then I would agree with you. Where I take issue is him purchasing the shit for himself.
Yeah.
He's having a hard enough time booking his own show. I don't need him booking indies too. Anyway.
So does that mean there's not going to be any women on those shows either?
There's women on NWA.
Okay, but Camille's gone.
See, this is where I see. Okay, I could do it, but because I love you, I'm not going to. Okay, because right now, if you watch NWA Power, there's two things being set up. One is in 2024, the NWA is going to do an all women's pay-per-view that's going to be paired with Stardom, Impact, and the NWA. They're gearing up for that now on their weekly television. Their top three women's stars, Pretty Empowered, and their women's champion, Kinzy Page, are all under the age of 25. Their women's TV champion, Max the Impaler, is 100% LGBTQ. Like, ha. This whole, like, there's nothing going on in the NWAs. Wrong.
Pick your pen up. First
I'm glad it took him 2 years to find enough independent female wrestlers to put on another all women's pay per view.
Can't happen, baby. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Ay, Dios mío.
I love you,
Katie. Spit or swallow.
I'm gonna swallow Samoa Joe.
I bet you'd like to.
That's neither here nor there. The vignette that he gave, basically just looking like an actual movie villain, his suit, his cigar, his glass of probably whiskey that was like $800, is saying that he's still pissed off at MJF. He respects him, but he's still pissed off that he lost. And even though he is a Ring of Honor world champion of some capacity, I don't know what TV champion?
Yeah.
Sure, that one. Oh yeah, because Kingston's world champion. Yeah. So he's still TV champion, but he's beating everybody, he says. So I don't know. I just like this version of Samoa Joe where he's like so menacing and now he talks. And he knows he can actually kill you, but he's waiting to do so. I'm about it.
All right. I'm with you. I was thinking Main Event Mafia, Joe, when I saw that.
I didn't watch that.
I'm gonna finish SmackDown off. It's the only other thing I had as a swallow from SmackDown. I'm swallowing Little Red Riding Andrade and Asuka defeating Damage Control ahead of their match. She did. She came out in all red with a red hood. She looked like Little Red Riding Andrade.
I saw a picture.
They got the win over Damage Control. heading into, because that's what makes sense, right? Like you want to see Asuka and Charlotte Strong going into a triple threat match with Io, so it looks like Io's title is in danger, especially with the way they set it up with Bayley making the match against Io's will and Io being pissed off and everything that they were doing there. So yeah, and I also just really wanted to say Little Red Riding Andrade.
I know.
Also, she sold way better and made everyone look way better in this match than she did tonight. So,
Which I wish I would have watched fucking SmackDown instead of that match, because goddamn.
Will Spitter Swallow.
Did you watch that match?
I did watch that match, and we'll talk about her in that match.
I didn't watch it for her. Oh God, really?
Let's see. I'm trying to go through my stuff that's not Fastlane related. I'm not going to worry about that one. That one's SmackDown. This is another kind of one of the blends. I'm swallowing part of it, but I'm having to spit part of it as well. And that's Rey Fenix and the international title. I'm glad that he's got a couple like decent matches under his belt, but I hate the fact that they've pretty much all but told us they're going to make him drop the belt to Mox on Tuesday. Like that's an issue for me, because again, I don't want all these AEW titles bouncing around. I think the international title had done real good to develop itself into being the number 2 title. Then it goes to Mox and then Phoenix. And now 3 weeks later, it's going to have to go back to Mox so they can finish telling the story about how it's going to get back to Orange Cat. It's just a mess. Like, I really hope for the greater good that 2024 shows stability for the AEW titles.
Bold of you to assume Tony Khan knows how to do that.
Yeah.
Just saying. I'm speaking it into existence.
All right. I'm with you. I don't take notes on this because I don't care about any of this shit. Like, I don't care who's holding the international title. Like, that stuff doesn't interest me. It's not doing it. Like, it's the workhorse title, right? And matches and but I haven't given a shit. So it's not what I enjoy that AEW is doing. Katie, spit or swallow?
Out. Oh wait, I had that. I'm swallowing, or no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna spit. Kenny and Jericho having a match, because why? And now, Powerhouse Hobbs is part of the Callis family. What in the hell is going on over there?
Where the fuck did that southern accent come from?
It happens. I've been drinking. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, so don't hate me, but
if you're swallowing that, no. I know exactly why you're swallowing it. It's because Kenny and Jericho got the shit beat out of them.
Fuck yes, they did. They got blacked raw on Wednesday, Katie. Kenny and Jericho got blacked raw on Wednesday. Listen, Don Callis called Kenny a cuck. He beat the shit out of Jericho. He hired Powerhouse Hobbs. Hobbs black rawed them both. I am slowly becoming a carny piece of shit fan week by week because he is doing all the things I wish I could do over and over and over again live on TV.
I will spit out my wine. You can't say shit like this.
I'm swallowing Don Callis, getting Powerhouse Hobbs, and blacked raw on Wednesdays.
Listen. See, I forgot we talked about this in my fucking chat. Yes. Okay, I understand. Black raw. Yeah, I'm down. Sure. But why? Just like Callis sucks and everyone just gravitates to him.
Okay.
And I don't
Why does Callis suck though? Like what sucks about Callis?
It's just him as a person.
Because he turned on Kenny, because he turned on Jericho, because like also Boone's in my book, good job, Don. Like
no, it's literally just like him as a human being just like skeeves me out.
Well, I mean, Paul Heyman had that about him too, and we love Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman? Love Paul Heyman. What a guy.
Yeah, but he's also kind of skeevy.
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
He
it's
didn't
just,
pay his wrestlers.
I know. But like, I'm just saying, it's like the way that Don talks and the way that he looks, it's just everything about it screams like creepy neighbor that you don't want to talk to, that just like kind of stands on his porch and like looks at you. That's the vibe I get.
Some Heyman promos from like '98.
Oh,
and you're going to be
2
like,
years
oh,
old? No, thanks.
No,
Yeah,
what I'm
no.
saying is,
Paul
if I-
E. Dangerously is very much Don Callis.
if you,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. No, I'm just for comparison's sake, so you see it, because Don Callis right now is watching. It seems like he goes home at night and he's like, what do I need to do? He watches Jim Cornette in WWE in 1997 simultaneously while he watches
Paulie Dangerously.
Paulie Dangerously in ECW in 1998. And it's like the two put together perfectly. And that's what Don Callis is pulling off.
See, but like I didn't like grow up on any of that shit, so like I didn't have to experience that.
I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm just telling you why I do and why it's a swallow.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
you
not
got all mad at me for
saying-
swallowing it.
Because I forgot we talked about it. It's been a long day.
I would
Yeah.
also like to swallow the fact that Matt watched my brain Control-Alt-Delete and he filled in the blank space that I needed to finish my sentence before I had to hesitate. He was like, Paulie Dangerously. And I was like, and Paulie, like, thank you, Matt.
I'm really good at filling in spots, like how I fill in patreon.com/creationworld right now before it is my turn to spit or swallow. Because if you go to patreon.com/creationworld, there are tiers. There's a $1 tier. It gets you 2 shows for $1. There is Return to Wrestling with Travis and I, where we talk old school WCW 1995 to 1998. Very soon we will be recording Uncensored 1998 that will drop this month. Within like the next week or two, that should happen. Also, you have Multiverse with Travis and Mara. So if you are a fan of DC animated stuff or you are a fan of old school wrestling, we have 2 podcasts for you there. There's another tier. It's just a little bit higher. You're going to have to go click the link to find out what it is, though, to get the show ad-free. No ads. None of them. If you want to check that out, watch everything that we do ad-free, you can do that if you subscribe to that tier. We offer that. However, if you're watching us live, as I always say, ladies and gentlemen, we have some awesome sponsors. They do some great shit. We've talked about a lot of fucked up shit tonight. We've talked about Black Raw. We've talked about, saluting our Dami Mommy with the shocker. We've done all these things, and a lot of what we have can help you, whether it's in the bedroom, whether it's taking care of your pet, or whether, it's just energy in general. So please check it out. Listen. Go use the promo codes, get yourself some cool shit, and have a good time.
Things up in the bedroom, then it's time to check out Adam and Eve. Because you see, Adam and Eve is the leading adult toy store that offers a wide range of products to help you explore your sexual desires. Whether you're looking for something to use solo or with a partner, they have everything you need to satisfy your cravings. From vibrators to lingerie, bondage gear to lubricants, AdamandEve.com has it all. And the best part, you can shop with confidence, knowing that all their products are of high quality and backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means whether you bought a dildo, sex swing, penis ring, vibrator, anal sex toy, bondage toy, couples toy, lube, or accessory, you can get a refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. No questions asked. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Adam and Eve is giving you 50% off almost any item on their website. That's right, 50% off. And if you act now, you'll also get free shipping. So go to adamandeve.creationworld.com and use the offer code erotica at checkout. That's erotica at adamandeve.creationworld.com for 50% off almost any item and free shipping. Don't wait. This offer won't last very long. The link is in the description. Attention dog lovers. Are you looking for high quality products to spoil your furry friend? then you need to check out dog.com. Because you see, dog.com is the go-to online store for all your dog-related needs. They offer a huge selection of dog food, treats, beds, and more. Plus, they have products for all types of dogs, from puppies to seniors and everything in between. And the best part, you can shop with confidence knowing that all their products are made with your dog's health and happiness in mind. Dog.com only stocks top-rated brands that you can trust, so you can rest easy knowing your dog is getting the best. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Dog.com is doing a big warehouse clearance sale. And all you have to do is go to dog.creationworld.com and you can get up to 80% off on all sorts of items like toys, treats, bones, harnesses, bowls, leashes, and anything else you can think of. So go to dog.creationworld.com and take advantage of this sale right now. Spoil your furry friend with the best products from dog.creationworld.com today. Link is in the description. Are you tired of feeling sluggish and unfocused throughout the day? Then it's time to try DUBBY, the ultimate energy source. DUBBY is a powerful clean energy drink that is designed to help you stay alert and focused no matter what life throws your way. Whether you're a student, a busy professional, an athlete, or especially a gamer, DUBBY can give you the boost you need to take on the day or the night. It also contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. And the best part, DUBBY is made with high quality ingredients and is completely sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, and is keto-friendly. So you can enjoy the energy boost without any of the crash, jitters, or angst that comes with traditional energy drinks. Simply mix DUBBY with water and you'll have a delicious, refreshing energy drink that can help you power through your entire day. And with a variety of flavors to choose from, including Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, and Dragonade, you're sure to find one that you love. So go to dubby.creationworld.com and order your DUBBY today. And for a limited time, use code CREATIA at checkout to get 10% off your order. That's Creatia at dubby.creationworld.com for 10% off. Try DUBBY today and feel the difference. The link is in the description.
I'm a Don Callis guy shirts because I think I'm a Don Callis guy. I really do. To get us back on track from where we were at the break. If anyone from AEW is listening, I'm a Don Callis guy shirts. We need them.
They're a t-shirt company, right? Isn't that what they do?
Yeah, but they make shitty t-shirts.
Well, here's an idea for a good one, ladies and gentlemen. I also have one for a Nightmare on Bad Street that I can send you that, anyway. I am going to swallow. Let's go back to Raw. Oh, yeah. I'm swallowing masturbation returning to WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, DIY is back. We all know what do-it-yourself means. We had an IC title contract signing that just turned into an IC title match on Raw. They're like, fuck it. Let's do it now. Let's do it here. Do it now. Gunther gets the win. Imperium starts stomping Ciampa. Out comes Johnny Gargano to no response whatsoever from the live crowd for whatever reason.
This is so disrespectful, by the way.
And then right as we're about to get what everyone wanted to see, the screen cuts off. We don't get the culmination. We don't get the money shot at the end of, the masturbation because do it yourself. But DIY's back and Gargano's happy. Ciampa's happy. We have another official tag team for these tag team titles that we're going to figure out maybe what's going on with them come Friday or Monday. I don't know because, we got 2 world heavyweight champions and 2 women's champions and a U.S. champion. And I'm just saying, I've wanted to see a certain tag team versus a certain tag team for tag team titles for a while now. So,
if only we got that and they listened to us.
Well, we could.
You know what I thought was really unique about Gargano coming out?
What was that?
He seemed to get the same crowd reaction that every other person did coming out, the same one. And when he came out, he had the same face as he did then, and then he had the same face at the end when him and Ciampa were hugging, and he had the same. He's the same fucking dude, no matter what. He is the Nick Cage of pro wrestling. I have to be careful because I have a Nick Gage swallow coming up the next time it comes around. He's the Nick Cage of wrestling. Johnny Gargano is just a wrestler with issues. That's it. That's all he does.
And Nick Gage isn't just a wrestler with issues.
And Nick Cage is an actor with issues. Nick Cage plays the same character in every movie. It's just a different version of himself. Nick Cage in Con Air is he's a convict with issues.
We are not a convict with issues and a Southern accent, and long hair, which is purely unique to Face Off and every other Nick Cage movie. We are not going to disparage Con Air here on the Smackin It Raw podcast. I fucking love that movie.
I picked that one on purpose because I know it's at the top of your Nick Cage movies.
Wow, that's fucking
Matchstick Man,
everyone's
con man with issues. Johnny Gargano is a wrestler with a whistle. Johnny Gargano is a wrestler with a family. Johnny Gargano is a wrestler with his buddy. It's the same shit over and over again, just with a different width.
I mean, Undertaker was a dead man with a manager, and then a dead man with a new manager, and then a dead man with a brother, and then a dead man on a motorcycle, and then a dead man without a daddy because he buried him in cement and off a motorcycle.
But Matt, as a very staunch Undertaker fan, are you telling me that Johnny's same face Gargano is in the same light as the Undertaker?
No, I'm just saying when it comes to longevity with a character, there's nothing wrong with that if it works and it's gotten over. And for Johnny, objectively in NXT, it has. Maybe they didn't do the best job here in his main roster run and stuff like that. But outside of a Mankind, good night, Jamie.
Good night, Jamie.
Outside of a Mankind who can be a mental patient and a degenerate outlaw and a ladies' man and a corporate stooge and Santa Claus and all of these different things. Not many wrestlers are banging gimmicks out the way him or a Glenn Jacobs does. And in Glenn Jacobs' case, one gimmick was successful out of the many that he tried.
No, so. I see your logic as well. And, yeah.
I'm just happy masturbation's back in WWE.
That is great. It's like practicing. You gotta do it yourself to make sure you can do it well with other people involved. It makes sense. Nolan Ryan didn't only pitch pitches in a Major League Baseball game. I guarantee you that. He practiced.
There you go. Would you like to swallow your wrestler with issues now? Because Nick Gage is definitely a wrestler with issues.
I'm going to swallow the entirety of the Art of War Games match, because simultaneously while I was watching Fastlane, I was also watching the GCW pay-per-view, the Art of War Games. And during this pay-per-view, they did a 10-man 5-on-5 2-ring double-sided cage death match. This shit was wrapped in light tubes. They had multiple scaffolds with like panes of glass set up. They had doors and barbed wire bats. It was a glorious train wreck of a 10-person shit show, and it was amazing. If you've ever thought of a hardcore spot, they did it in this match. Nick Gage used the pizza cutter. We stopped watching at one point and rewound it so we could screen record it, because we legitimately think somebody may have died in this match, because the ref and then the emergency medical people like started waving the fucking cameras off, like knocking the cameras away so they would cut to another shot. Like, it was the most ridiculous wrestling match I've ever seen in my life as far as like train wreck death matches go. And I've seen some weird mud show shit.
What you're saying is, if death matches gangbang porn, this is like the 100-man gangbang record.
Yes. If you want to see just the one, you're like, I want to watch one because I want to see what all the hubbub is about. This is the one. This is the Rolling Stones on their 500th retirement tour playing nothing but the hits. This is the death match to watch. If I'm a wrestling fan and you want to show them, you tell them to watch, Undertaker throw Mankind off the top of the Hell in a Cell. This is that death match.
So I've backed off my Nick Gage slander just because he's essentially white New Jack and would probably kill me if he saw me in person given the chance, because he's just that person. However, I am not surprised someone may or may not have died at a show in a match involving Nick Gage. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I'm not surprised in any capacity.
I'll send you guys the clip.
I need something to jack off to later. Katie, spit or swallow.
Okay. I mean, we briefly brought it up, and I just want to hear Matt kind of complain about it. I'm spitting the fact that Dynamite literally couldn't get his shit together with its audio issues for 2 weeks in a row. Matt has a different issue, but, like, it's the fact that everything sounded like this. This is how everything sounded. Like, during, like, an actual, like, kind of important thing, storyline-wise, with Roddy and Adam. Yeah, they showed it after the fact again, because they fucked it up the first time. But, like, last week, everything was sounding weird, like, in-ring, and, like, what the fuck is going on over there? Can you guys just fix your stuff? It's getting really fucking annoying now.
Well, I'm going to tag onto that I'm spitting the Adam Roddy segment because I don't like that poor little broke ankle boy back there sitting was pretty much just Roddy Strong's bitch, and is just letting Roddy Strong turn him into his bitch. Like, yeah, he got him a scooter, but also said Kingdom doesn't know about feng shui and made this man on one leg move all of his furniture. And he did it. And I don't like that Adam Cole is being a bitch. I'm not a fan of it. I also don't like the fact that I tried to watch Dynamite tonight, knowing that I was not going to watch Collision because of Fastlane, or not tonight, on Wednesday night. And it said that the program is no longer available in my package. And I was able to watch Rampage. So they fixed that. And apparently this was a thing. I wasn't the only one affected by it, but not everyone was. Hopefully it is fixed on Tuesday for which I'm also not going to watch. I will be watching NXT on Tuesday. That's just who I am and what I do. I will watch both shows, just not at the same time live. I don't have that option. Neither here nor there. Then I got home and I'm like, all right, I saw Tony grabbing Sky Blue's cake. Let me go check the show out. I know Adam was there. I want to hear that stuff. Copeland, not Cole. I saw some things that intrigued me. I'm like, I need to check this out. I was going to be petty and just say fuck it and skip it. But then I was like, no, you know what? They did some cool shit. Let me go check it out. And when I did, and I pulled it up, it started recording at 5 Central and recorded 2 hours of Big Bang Theory under the banner of Dynamite, and none of Dynamite was on my DVR. So now I couldn't watch it live. I couldn't watch my DVR recording. Thank God I was able to watch it the next day on demand without any of the audio issues that the people that watched it live had, even though I had to watch Roddy's segment twice because I had to watch the original playing of it and then them being like, oh, here, watch it again because TBS fucked up our audio.
Yeah.
Which was a spit. I don't know if it's on TBS's end. I don't know if it's on AEW's end, what the deal was. They were fucking up big time Wednesday. And this is not the kind of production snafus that you can have when your, production budget's gone to fund Adam Copeland being in your company without making it obvious that that's where that money came from. So let's try and fix that going forward.
Okay, thanks, because it's actually starting to piss me the fuck off.
Completely agree.
Let's see. I got a will here. I got to swallow and a spit altogether. I'm swallowing the setup with Becky being hurt, putting Tegan's title match on hold till this upcoming Monday Night Raw. Tegan tried to make the best of it, challenging Chelsea after Chelsea showed up talking shit and Adam making the match. However, I'm spitting the match between Tegan and Chelsea because it wasn't great. I'm spitting the fact that Natalya showed up and injected herself into this and raised Tegan's hand for no fucking reason. So swallowing the setup for everything, spitting the execution.
Natalie Neidhart, get the fuck away from Tegan Knox.
Silver lining, we might get the best Neidhart of all time in Pound Town Wrestling. Jenny Neidhart going to Pound Town is what I need. I need Jenny Neidhart to go to Pound Town, and not just on OnlyFans, but also on OnlyFans.
But also on OnlyFans. No, I just, as soon as I saw Natalia backstage, I was like, this bitch. I said it verbally out loud to myself, and I was like, this bitch. She's in everything. Get your kitty paws out of there. You're not needed here. No. It's just bothers me.
All right, we still got to get into Fastlane, so let's I know we haven't talked about NXT at all. Let's try and wrap this up one more round of the week in wrestling, and then we'll hop into Fastlane.
Hi, Captain.
And depending on how much time we have after, maybe we'll go back, and if there's anything we didn't talk about that we want to hit, we'll hit that. But Will, spit or swallow?
I'm going to I'll swallow an NXT thing, and that's Ilya Dragunov being the NXT champion. 1000%. Mello is him, and whether he goes into something in NXT and does something awesome there, or if he finally gets called up and does stuff on the main roster, possibly a new member of Bobby Lashley's group. Many things are being circulated as to what's next for him. I don't care because he'll be great at it, but the bigger picture is Ilya Dragunov being the NXT World Champion, NXT Heavyweight Champion, and I'm absolutely fucking here for it. He's maybe the most technically sound wrestler not named Braun Breaker on that roster. Like, he's definitely the most well-rounded wrestler on the roster, I would say.
All right. I'm gonna elaborate on this. Katie, I request that the last big thing from Dynamite is your next swallow.
Okay.
I think I can pretty much sum up NXT as a whole in my swallow with everything that you and I are probably going to want to talk about from it in one swallow. I think I've got a way to do that.
Okay.
On to what Will said. Yes, not only is Dragunov, but listen, he came out and cut a promo. I have no idea what the fuck he was talking about. No clue. But he said it with so much conviction and passion that I believed it. That is what is great about him. In the ring and on the mic, pure passion. I believe it all. Trick came out, gave him props. Thanks, Dragunov. Ilya gives Trick props. We got Hayes coming out, a little butthurt. He's like, what's this about? Like, he beat me, and I thought we were friends, and North American title, blah, 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 blah. Dragunov tells Mello that champs are talking, and you should probably get the fuck out of here because you don't have a belt. Like, let us speak. The Trick has his back. He's like, hey, don't do him like that. Like, that's not cool. And then Mello starts doubting Trick and his ability to retain the title. He's like, it's easier to win a title than it is to keep it, which, wow. Dom interrupts, pours gas to the fire. Trick starts taking shots about Dom being a mommy's boy, which, I mean, if Rhea was my mommy, I would be too. Braun trying to buddy up to Mello as two guys that both lost championships and then get him to turn on Trick, but he wasn't having it. I know Vince, if he was here, would be swallowing the fact that Dominic Mysterio got his North American title back, which made the whole thing with him winning at the pay-per-view seem like a fucking waste, in my opinion. So that's also a whole deal there. But all of this, everything that I just talked about, was set in motion by Will Swallow, which was Ilya Dragunov being motherfucking Ilya Dragunov.
Also, Ilya Dragunov saying whoop that Trick, the funniest thing to me. It's like, sir, you don't need to say that, but the way you say it, that's fun. I appreciate it. He was so proud of himself, too.
If Draco Malfoy was a wrestler instead of a wizard, it would be Ilya Dragunov.
Okay. I love you, Will.
Interesting.
I like how you laughed at me. You're like, shut up. And Katie's like, This motherfucker's not wrong. I hate him so
Well,
much.
you're high and she's drunk and I'm sober. So those are the three reactions.
It wasn't that I was necessarily thinking you're right. I was like thinking about it. I was like, who else could it be? I don't know. That'd be a question. That's a conversation for another time.
Katie, spit or swallow.
So I mean, we have to swallow Adam Copeland just in general on Dynamite. And listen, he explained to the people on Twitter and on Dynamite why the fuck he's there. So if y'all are gonna keep bitching and complaining, fuck off. His children said, go be with Uncle Jay. Hang out. Have fun. Uncle Jay, Christian, comes out. Mean mugging motherfucker. Turtleneck and all. And
MILF
just...
Hunter.
Yes, the MILF Hunter. And
with
just...
his new stepson.
Well, the stepson wasn't out there yet, but yes. He did come out later. And just like the interaction the two of them had, telling stories about like Adam, which sounds Edge. I can't call him Adam on the show. Edge being like, I came out there to stop you from destroying an icon, Sting, because you used to take his picture of the barber and want your hair like him, and I was Lex Luger, and like, you know, like actual backstory shit. And then they hug, and then Christian just with his whole chest, go fuck yourself, and then walks away. Man, fuck TBS. Don't bleep it.
I get it though. Like everywhere they've gone, when they're together, Edge is the star and Christian's in the background. He had to go to TNA to break away from the confines of Edge and make himself something. He came to AEW to break away from the confines of Edge and do something. And he has. He's been fucking kids' moms, denigrating their dead fathers. He's the father that stepped up for Nick Wayne. You know, and Nick Wayne realized that and took everything he said to heart, and it was a beautiful moment. And here comes Edge stealing that spotlight again. I get it, Christian. I'm with you. Like, I get it.
I just thought it was so funny. Like, they hugged, they embraced. It was so sweet, and it was kind of quiet.
Yourself.
Go fuck yourself. My jaw dropped after I found out what the fuck he said. Because I didn't get to hear it live. Because they did bleep it.
As a wrestling fan, okay, Christian won a world title in WWE, won the big gold belt. He left the WWE to establish himself as a single star outside of Edge and Christian. He went to TNA. He won the TNA World Championship. He's won the Impact World Championship.
I was there.
Okay. So now let's look at Adam Copeland, the person. He's had, without question, a Hall of Fame career in WWE. Same at the NWA title. Thank you, Jax. If Christian left the WWE after winning a WWE World Championship, okay, and then he goes to all these other places and he has successes and win other world titles. Adam Copeland now, singles career Hall of Famer. If he leaves now and doesn't win a world title anywhere else, does that make Edge, Adam Copeland, a system person? He was only successful because he was in WWE.
I don't think so. I think the reason he was successful in WWE is because of who he is. And if he doesn't do anything outside of WWE, I think it's more of a factor of how late he waited to leave the company in his career and what he wanted to do, which I'm assuming is have matches and put guys over and not win a bunch of championships at his age, than an indicator of his talent outside of WWE, personally.
Yeah. Also, can we talk about the fact that people are saying that his spear is different now and it's better? It's the same fucking thing.
No.
That's because he's doing a gore now instead of a spear.
Oh my
Please,
God, no.
no.
All right. So I'm swallowing what I'm dubbing Titty Tuesday. NXT was motherfucking Titty Tuesday because it was all about the girl.
139.14.
Becky comes out looking for a fight at Halloween Havoc. She is then met by Lyra Valkyria, Indy Hartwell for some fucking reason. Oh, I guess they interacted a little bit on Raw, and Indy's not doing anything on the main roster, so why the fuck not? And Roxanne Perez, who Fuck you, Florida, for booing Roxanne for no goddamn reason. The fuck was that about? They all want a shot. Becky's like, all right, well, fight for that spot. They do, and Lyra wins. And we have talked about how much I motherfucking love Lyra Valkyria on this show repeatedly. She is probably, in-ring wise, my favorite female wrestler in NXT right now, with Roxanne being a very close second, if not dead even. I love what she's doing. I love what she does in the ring. I love the character and the look and everything about her. Roxanne is that bubbly light side. Lyra is a little more serious, a little more badass, and I appreciate that in her. Mm-hmm. Then, after all of that, Kiana screws Roxanne. Becky takes her out during the match, which is part of how Lyra got the win. Tegan Knox shows up just because, like, hey, don't look past me to Halloween Havoc. You still got to beat me on Monday before you get there. So we didn't forget about her. Apparently, Kiana's talking, I want to be seen above Roxanne. You're not going to, at least not at this point. But it can also make matches. So she made a match for next Titty Tuesday, which is going to be Roxanne versus Asuka, to go along with John Cena in Carmelo Hayes' corner and Paul Heyman in Braun Breaker's corner, and a major announcement by both Cody Rhodes and the return of the Taco Bell dog. Because you guys heard the gong, and that's what that was, right? Was the return of the Taco Bell dog. Maybe it's my favorite wrestler of all time, The Undertaker, but I think it's a Taco Bell announcement. All of that happening as AEW and NXT go head-to-head, and all the people are like, oh, AEW or WWE stacking. Like, why is this not a good thing? Why is them giving you great things in wrestling not a positive thing for next week? Why are we not excited? Why is it, oh, they've got to, they're trying to, you know, they see them as competition, and like, why are we bitching about this and not just happy we're getting a really good fucking Tuesday night with a bunch of really good wrestling to enjoy? The fuck is wrong with people? Bitch.
That's what they do. They want to bitch and complain.
I know you live in Florida, and if you booed Roxanne Perez, fuck you too, Jacksbo, because god damn it. Roxanne Perez is fantastic. She really is. She honestly, hands down, is probably in-ring the best female wrestler on the NXT roster right now, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Tiffany's really good too, Will. Tiffany's really good too. But all around, I think Roxanne is better than Tiffany. All around.
Oh, we love Tiffany.
In-ring.
Yeah. Like, we love some Bimbo Nation. Tiffany Stratton.
See?
For sure.
That you're the good side of Florida, see? There you go.
There's a good side of Florida.
So, Titty Tuesday, all about the women.
Well, yeah, I mean, women's breakout tournament started.
Yep.
Hell yeah, like titties.
Oh, I also have that here. NXT was all about the women. Gigi defeated Blair.
Yep.
Kalani defeated Izzy Dame. Lola and Elektra versus JC Jane and Thea. Rhea also stopped by. All of these things on a Titty Tuesday.
Titty Tuesday.
JC and Thea just dancing to Elektra and Lola's theme just made me giggle. Titty Tuesday.
All right.
Let's get it.
I think I did that pretty well. Let's get into Fast Lane, ladies and gentlemen. It was tonight. It just happened. We all experienced it. First thing, right off the bat, Jade Cargill shows up on the pre-show and then does jack shit and is not seen for the rest of the show. But she showed up. Triple H came. Hey, hi. She looked fucking fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, they're just I mean, ever since they announced that she signed with WWE, they've shown like the video of her like kind of training and how every paper and network and everything is just covering it. So it's like big news. So they were just basically showcasing her as the star that she is, even with her own little paparazzi. Very Melina-esque.
Thoughts, Will?
I think that if they do this the right way, a slow burn with Jade Cargill is the way to go, because you don't know where she's going to end up. You don't know what she's going to do. All we know is her name, and that's it. So keep the vignettes, keep having her do the walk-ups in the parking lots into the buildings, but not show her up anywhere. Like, make this mean something when we finally see her live on TV.
I agree. We kicked off Fastlane Jay and Cody versus Finn and Damian Priest for the tag team titles. We had Dom and Rhea and JD McDun show up. Jay continuing flirting with Rhea on the outside in their interaction. We got a 1D Cody cutter, which gave us the win, and your new tag team champions, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso.
I knew as soon as they made this match, I was like, oh, they gonna win, aren't they? That's wild. I don't know how I feel about it. But like whatever they had during that press conference, that's all I need. They were giggling. Cody, who is like one of the most like professional fucking people in this business, was cracking the fuck up during that press conference and couldn't like keep a straight face and focus. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But he's happy. He's enjoying it.
Edibles and catering is what I heard.
Yeah, basically.
William?
We'll put them there.
I love edibles. I love catering. I eat edibles and I have a catering company. So no. In my notes, I wrote Cody wins with a question mark, and I put that I gargled it because it was on my list for my spits and my swallows. I like the idea of Jay doing stuff without Jimmy, but I don't necessarily think that meant him winning the tag titles with somebody else, though.
I like the 1D Cody cutter.
That was amazing. I popped for that. Yeah.
Because it seemed like don't get me wrong. I know predictability and people complain about predictability and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to talk about that because there's some in this show. However, in this case, it looked like we had a clear cut way to get where I think everyone wanted to be for next year. And the closer we get to it, the more less certain it seems that that's where we're going. Like it looked like we were going for a Jimmy and Jay feud, and then Jay went to Raw and Jimmy tried to get back, and that was all confusing and kind of tainted the bloodline story a little bit. Cody got Jay to Raw, and there's a draft that's supposed to go to SmackDown, and we're all like, oh, we know who that is, and we know what that's going to set up, and yay, and then they win the tag team titles together, and that doesn't fucking happen, and it's like.
But now he's allowed on SmackDown.
But still, listen. Yes, but also he showed up on SmackDown without being allowed on SmackDown anyway because brand splits aren't real, so it doesn't fucking matter anyway.
Yeah, brand splits aren't real. We know that.
Like, I don't really know where this is going, but it feels like we're just convoluting shit because we don't know what to do until we get to where we want to go, and I'm not even sure what direction we're going in anymore. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
But like, I mean, Cody completed. He didn't finish the story. He finished a chapter.
He has been tag team champions before. This does not count.
Just saying.
Next up, we got the Almighty Prophets versus the LWO in Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Carlito took his sweet fucking time to show up, but won the match. You know, he hit the backstabber, got the win for the LWO. Yay, I guess.
I actually turned on Fastlane 3 seconds before Carlito's music hit. I was like, oh, hey, Carlito's here? Cool. I was so
There was
confused.
a good 10 minutes of him just not being there and it being a 3-on-2 for whatever reason before he just showed up. Love
that. Oh, yeah, because didn't Ray say on SmackDown that he was like making a call or something?
Yeah, did he leave him a voicemail and it took him that long to get it? And then I don't know how far it is from Puerto Rico to fucking Indiana. Like, I would, if they had shown him like pulling up to the arena. Okay, I might have like, okay, he just arrived, you know, it's a long drive, blah, blah, blah. It was a last minute thing, cool, whatever. But his music hit, his new music hit, which, and he came out like the last 5 seconds of the match and also kind of seemed a little blown up after the match for coming in and hitting a couple moves as finisher and getting the pin. So we'll see.
Yeah, because they just had him backstage doing nothing.
Go ahead, Will.
I think that I saw this multiple times tonight in wrestling, and GCW did something similar, but it was the opposite way to succeed with it. WWE did it with Carlito. They had him come out with new music. So one, I think they took away a little bit of the pop, because had it been the Carlito music, I think it would have been bigger, because it took everybody a second to process, I think, because it wasn't the same music. GCW did it, and the fans in GCW are all smart wrestling fans, smarks, if you will. And they played Matt Cardona's music like he was supposed to come out, and it was a distraction. But it distracted the wrestlers, which it was supposed to. And then when he didn't come out, but all the fans booed it because the fans knew that Cardona was in Australia. So I feel like it kind of goes one of two ways, kind of teasing and playing with the music and stuff. And I feel like WWE kind of danced too close to the fire, where GCW just fucking flew straight into the sun with it. You see what I mean? Like you can kind of mess yourself up teasing the crowd a little bit, depending on how smart your fans are.
Yeah, I can see that. All right. Io Sky retains her championship in a triple threat match against Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Io told Bayley to stay in the back. Bayley did not, and Bayley saved her ass in this match, helping her get the win, and she couldn't be happier for it. Will, I'm going to let you go ahead and kick this one off, because I have a feeling your opinion on this match is going to vary far from Katie and I's opinion.
Well, this actually, here it comes. The big part, it says Io Sky winning in a great triple threat. Big swallow. Big swallow. Okay. It was a super protected finish for Charlotte, which I loved, because she got the visual win in the figure 8 and then the moonsault and everything that happened coming out of it. So it protected Charlotte in a finish that she didn't win. And then Io won, so it was able to protect everybody in the match, make nobody appear weak in a finish, and still somehow make Io look strong in her win. So I swallow it.
Much like her father and ring rats, Charlotte doesn't need protection. Charlotte Flair is Charlotte Flair. I was not happy with the fact that this match took two women of the talent of Asuka and Io Sky, which, by the way, they did mention that Io Sky won her first NXT title in a triple threat that involved Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. And basically, for the beginning of the match, had Charlotte Flair dominating both of them in a handicap match as if they were not on her level. For whatever reason, I don't feel like that was a necessary turn. I don't think that Io or Asuka would have any problem facing Charlotte Flair one-on-one. And when you put those two together, that Charlotte Flair should be running roughshod over them, period, for the beginning of that match. And it felt like a good part of the beginning of that match. Also, again, Charlotte Flair makes Charlotte Flair look good. However, in spots with Io and Asuka, where Io did the roll into the stomp, things like that. If you watch, I don't know if it's her timing. I don't know if it's the plastic in her body and she can't bend over. I don't know what it is, but she didn't make Io look good. It didn't look fluid. She didn't roll through. There was a stall and a pause and a stumble. And I'm going to put that on Charlotte. And there were a few spots in this match with Charlotte where that happened. So
she's
that's
notorious
why
for no selling.
She is notorious for putting on a good match when she wants to, and also for making herself look really good, but not necessarily her opponent in matches.
I have a rebuttal.
Salt. Okay.
NXT TakeOver in Your House 2020. Okay.
Yeah.
In that match, ironically, it was Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair had just beaten Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania for the NXT Women's title after winning the Royal Rumble.
Which also still never happened, but okay.
Okay. When she beat Rhea for that match, there is zero questions that from that point in Rhea's career on, the trajectory was straight to the moon. Zero questions asked. Charlotte did that. Okay. Now hold on. About 90 days later, when Charlotte dropped the belt to Io at NXT in your house, what happened? Oh, wait, that's right. Io has been nothing but on a rocket ship to where she's at now.
That is not true.
EO
No, that
wasn't
is
being
not true.
utilized by the company for like months on end.
But when she was in the company and she was being utilized, has she not been in the championship positions every single time?
Her call up to the main roster post her run in NXT until Damage Control, actually until recently where she won the title with Damage Control and the Money in the Bank and all that, was not great at all. She was not on a rocket ship. She was not main eventing. She was not on a trajectory to be in the main event until brought back by Bayley with Dakota, or returning with Bayley Dakota. Her main roster run was dismal at best.
Did she even have a main roster run
Was she injured?
before? I don't know. I don't remember.
She came in with Damage Control as a changed name. She never wrestled on the main roster as Io Shirai.
I don't know if she was injured or what was going on.
She was one of the ones that got released with Dakota Kai.
No, she never got released.
Well, then that means she wrestled as Io Shirai in NXT, because when she got called up as Io Sky. She never wrestled as Io Shirai.
There was either an injury and she showed up, or because she did have matches on the main roster.
I don't remember.
Prior to her official call up with Damage Control.
I don't remember, because that time frame isn't like real, because that was like COVID-y times. But like, I don't know. I have my thoughts, feelings, and opinions on Charlotte and I agree with Matt 100%. And I've been saying it for as long as I can remember. If she wants to make you look good, she'll make you look good. But she shouldn't be the one to fucking dictate that. You should always make your opponent look good. It's not willy-nilly. You don't get to choose. You should always make your opponent look good. And I love the fact that she got missed in the first 30 seconds of the match. And I was like, oh, yes. One-on-one. Io and Asuka, let's go. I thought she was going to be out the whole match. And then she wasn't. And then I got sad. So I don't know. We didn't need a triple threat, and I'm just happy she didn't fucking win. Because Io is fantastic, and she needs to be utilized in that capacity. You can have Damage Control as your lackeys. Dakota's still not cleared, and she won't be for a while. And Bayley's kind of just her right-hand man right now. So just let Io be Io and have these fantastic matches with Asuka and other women not named Charlotte Flair on the roster. Because we've seen it already.
So your biggest beef with Charlotte is that she's good enough to decide when to have a good match instead of having to go out there and struggle to put on a good match every time she wrestles like some of the women on the roster. The fact that she can go out there and phone it in at 80% and still be as good as your other favorites is an issue for you.
No. Let's not say when she phones it in, she's as good as our other favorite. Let's not do that, because if she was as good as our other favorites when she phoned it in, we wouldn't be complaining about it. The fact that we know she can be good. We have seen her be good, and that we have clearly physically seen her just decide, I don't fucking feel like it, and not do it. And she's not the only wrestler I know that's done that. And I've seen that, especially watching WCW and going back and seeing a lot of shit. There are a lot of wrestlers that if they really want to have a good match, they'll do it. But if it doesn't really benefit them or they don't feel like it, they're not going to fucking do it. And that's what bothers me, because that's not what this is about. It's not about you.
Yeah.
That's what bothers us. Is the fact that we know she can be great. We know she can put on bangers. We know she can do all this stuff. 7 times out of 10, she doesn't feel like doing it, and she doesn't. And when she doesn't, she makes her opponent look bad.
So you're saying that wrestling Charlotte Flair will make you look worse than wrestling some of the other women on the roster?
In certain instances, yes. Depending on whether or not Charlotte wants to make you look good or not, yes. If she doesn't, it can be detrimental to you. It can make you look worse than going and wrestling some of the other women on the roster that you could probably have a decent to good match with, but you're going to have a bad night with Charlotte because Charlotte just doesn't give a fuck.
Can we just move on? I'm over this.
We can. Next up, Pat McAfee tries to screw TC out of another WrestleMania by trying to get Indy to chant for and ask for and convince WWE to bring WrestleMania. 7 times out of 10 are just mistakes. I don't think so. I think it's deliberate. And then he introduces John Cena. We get Cena and Knight defeating Solo and Jimmy. And this is where I talked about it was nice to see someone do a super kick and go for a pin and have it be sold for a 2 count. Jimmy blasted LA Knight with a super kick after he was coming in, went and pinned him. LA Knight kicked out, and it was used properly.
I see what you're saying now. Okay.
Will's writing a thesis now on why I'm wrong about Charlotte.
Taking notes so when we end the show, I can come back to this.
Okay.
Pat McAfee coming out trying to screw TC out of another WrestleMania. Disrespectful. They already had one. Let TC have a WrestleMania for the love of God. This man has been asking. Give him one, please. And then it gives me an excuse to go back to Vegas. I love the team of Cena and LA Knight. Currently undefeated. Love that for them. That's what they said in their press conference, and it was funny. I laughed. I liked it. I thought it was a good time. I just like the two of them together. Like, Cena was, like, my favorite wrestler for the longest time. I mean, still is. But, like, everything he was, especially, like, before Super Cena stuff, is, like, kind of what I love about LA Knight. Just, like, the attitude he has, like the cockiness he has to him, and he can back it up. And LA Knight can back it up. And I love the two of them together because it's Cena at like, he's nearing the end, unfortunately. So he's nearing the end of his career, and LA Knight is, even though he's like, 40, like kind of just starting his WWE career. And I love the fact that they're utilizing the two of them together because Cena is going to have to go back to Hollywood as soon as the actor strike is done. Quite literally as soon as it's done. Which sucks.
I'll answer that after the show, Allison. When we get to the post show, we'll talk about it. Will, unless I've really upset you about Charlotte, you don't want to talk to me anymore. Any thoughts on Cena, LA Knight?
I think Cena and LA Knight is like a fever dream for anybody who's old enough to remember the Attitude Era. Because you remember the Firefly Funhouse where it was like all the different fucked up versions of John Cena? Mm-hmm. This is like another version of the Firefly Funhouse where you take all the super over wrestlers from the Attitude Era and you smush them all together and you get LA Knight. This is just like another fucked up version of the Firefly Funhouse.
All right. I think this might have been my favorite match of the night. I think they did the tag team dynamic really well to get LA Knight over, letting him get the win. John Cena doing what John Cena needed to do and getting really excited to do the 5-knuckle shuffle and all the stuff that everyone popped for. The other tag team match was probably a better match, but again, I wasn't a fan of the title swap because I don't know why, if we have all these tag teams, that we're putting titles on guys that aren't a tag team. And that's just a personal gripe. So because there was nothing on the line for this, because I loved 3/4 of the people involved in this, I could give two shits about Jimmy Uso. I talked about it ever since that, whatever. But I love Solo. I love Cena. I love LA Knight. I'm all about it.
Cena and LA tag team should be called You Can't See Me. Yeah. God.
And then we cut backstage to Damian Priest, upset that he lost his tag team title, so he wants to cash in his money in the bank. Rhea being the leader of Judgment Day, says, no, your knee's fucked up. Now's not the time. You're not ready. Give me that shit. Hand it over. She takes it. And in the most disappointing turn of events of the night, Seth Rollins defeats Shinsuke Nakamura, and Rhea Ripley does not show up with that briefcase, cash it in, and become your World Heavyweight Champion. I was really hoping that's what was going to happen.
Champions.
That would have been fantastic, and we didn't fucking get it. So,
I didn't even think about that as a possibility. Now, damn it! Now
I thought about that, and I also thought about Finn stealing it and Finn cashing it in and doing it.
Yeah, that a lot of people have been speculating is going to happen.
However, here's my thing. We talked about predictability earlier. This is one of those matches. Like, Shinsuke and Seth put on a great match. However, as soon as Shinsuke hit Seth with the mist, I knew Shinsuke was losing that match, and the rest of it, as fun as it was to watch, was kind of pointless because I knew Seth wasn't losing the title. And I'm not going to lie to you. I love Seth Rollins. I love this version of Seth Rollins. I really wanted Shinsuke to win because I really want good things for Shinsuke, and I'd like to see him hold that title at least once. And this is the third time he's been in this third time, I think. He's been in a main event spot to win a championship, and they have not put it on him. He wrestled Roman for the title. He won a Royal Rumble, and now this. So this would be 3. So,
yeah.
Seeing Shinsuke getting passed over repeatedly in this position kind of sucks. I was kind of hoping this was going to be the one, and it wasn't. And once I saw the mist off the ladder and Seth get up, I knew it was just a foregone conclusion. I was just waiting to get to the disappointing part.
I don't remember where I said it. It could have been on my show here, Young Kings. I don't remember. I was saying the same thing about Dragunov. If you have Dragunov lose to Mello, then what the fuck is the point? Because you had him lose at Great American Bash. I think it was the Bash. And then you had, like, we were setting up for No Mercy. So, like, Dragunov had to win. And, like, that's coming from me, and I love Carmelo Hayes. Dragunov had to win, and Dragunov did. And it's great. It's making for great storyline purposes for everything involved. I was saying the same thing about Nakamura. This is the best Nakamura has been since his debut in NXT when he was killing it. And this is the peak right now of everything he's been doing with the like the vignettes he's been doing, the psychological warfare with Seth, targeting the back, all of this stuff, and like everything about it has been fantastic on Shinsuke's end and Seth's too. We love Seth Rollins. Everything he does is great. This was the time to put it on Nakamura. And they didn't. So now I ask, what the fuck is the point? What do you do with Nakamura now? You had him lose twice clean, if you want to put that, because this was the last man standing. 2 pay-per-views in a row, I guess, to Seth Rollins. Like, what do you do now? And that sucks. Because Nakamura is fantastic and can do that. And he's not given that opportunity. They're not giving him the ball to run with it. You know? Like, it fucking sucks.
Final thoughts, Will?
I think that the build for Shin to get the world title might not be Rollins. You know me. I love old wrestling. And most of the time, it's the babyface chasing the car like a dog to get to the heel champion. There have been a few cases where a heel champion had to fight from underneath to become that all-powerful badass. And Dutch Mantel had to do it. Jerry Lawler's had to do it. So there are cases where the bad guy had to become the super bad guy. Think of like Frieza. You know, this isn't, we saw Shin and then we saw him get knocked down. Then we saw the Intercontinental Shin and he got knocked down. Now we see this version of Shin, and this, what we thought was the most badass version of Shin, got knocked down, but we haven't seen his final form yet. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes and no, because it's also WWE. And I know how they are and I know what they do. And I have expectations set for how this is going to go. And I don't think it's going to go well for Shin personally, based on history. There are a lot of these kind of heel champions that they use and then they let go. Hold on 1 second.
We're holding on.
We're holding.
We're holding. Hold for collections.
You guys plug your stuff. I will be right back.
Okay. I'm assuming Zoe woke up or something, if I were to guess. So do you want to go first?
Absolutely.
Go ahead,
Katie,
sir.
thank you for
Sir?
allowing me to be the honorary use of Creation World and Smacking It Raw.
Of course. That's why I'm here.
If you're interested in my shenanigans elsewhere, I'm sure you know who I am, but if you're not, click my link tree at the Will Gray. You'll find everything I do for Rivet City Radio, Botch Bots, and Share Shots, Off the Top Media, and Creation World.
Yeah. So for me, you can follow me on Twitter at KatieWrestling13. The link tree in my bio will take you to all things She Leads Showcase. The new episode has dropped. We talked about it earlier. Inside the Mind of, I'm currently trying to figure stuff out. Matt and I are going to get together soon for Patreon stuff.
So she says.
We will. I had a busy weekend. I don't know what to tell you. We'll get together. But like we're doing Getting Off tomorrow. Matt will talk about it more. You get 3 shows in a row with me and Matt. Guys. Hell yeah.
I locked Kate out, so I had to go let her back in.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Did Will already go?
He did. He went first.
All right, you guys can follow me on Twitter at MattRose@TRIDDR. Twitter only, also at Getting Off. Getting Off tomorrow, 11 p.m. Central, midnight Eastern. Come check us out. We're fantasy booking Halloween, all those things. We already talked Creation Conversation. You can follow everything at It's Creation World, ITSCREATIA World. Instagram, TikTok, X. Katie and I, Creation Conversation on Monday.
Yep.
Follow me on Instagram. Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky at Smackin It Raw.
Blue?
Is that the thing now?
Blue Sky?
Yeah, it's a thing.
You have one of those?
I do now.
Liar.
In there. No, I do.
Oh, you're dead ass. Oh, okay.
Yeah. 100%.
Sure. Okay. Cool.
Also, there's going to be a big announcement Tuesday, so make sure you turn into Creation Conversation Tuesday for the big announcement. Other than that, for Miss Katie Kinzy Bebe and the Will Gray, I'm the patron saint of podcast and the Warden Matt Ritter. This has been your number one news source. No, it's not. This has been your number one wrestling podcast on Pornhub.
I don't know where it is.
I have not locked her out in fucking forever. I flew up those stairs because I answered the phone. She goes, "Let me the fuck in the house." And I'm like, oh boy. I thought she was in bed already.
I thought Zoe woke up.
So
No.
Whoa. Has she been outside the whole time?
Oh no, she just tried to come in and the door was locked. So then she called me to tell me to let her in. But she's been outside, yeah. Getting ready for bed or doing whatever the fuck she was doing. I assumed she was already upstairs and in bed. I thought she was already inside. And I saw that and I'm like, oh, maybe I'm being too loud. Maybe Zoe woke up, something like that. That's why she's calling me. She's like, let me the fuck in. I'm like, I can't let you guys plug shit, sit here, plug it, and end the show and just make her wait until I'm done. I've got to fly up those fucking stairs and go let her in and come back.
All right. I have the capability of running the show by myself. I have power. Except you guys have 800,000 fucking videos, and I couldn't even find where the outro was.
Yeah, I want to remove some of those. That's Vince.
I was like trying to find it for you, and I was like, I don't know which one it is. There's so many.
You know, we can get rid of the in
so
memoriam one because that's done. So there's intro.
Oh, my head.
You can get rid of that one.
Can't breathe. Oh.
Allison, if you're still here, if you're still awake, is she still awake? Can you shout for her and see if she's still awake?
You don't have to shout.
Allison, are you still awake? Yeah, she's awake.
Okay. I don't want her to miss this. So she put in the comments. I'm gonna scroll up.
I don't know where I went.
But it's like your speculation can't say 100% that she's does it on purpose. Could it be you don't like her, so you're looking for a reason to call her out? I don't honestly have a personal issue with Charlotte Flair. I do not. I don't dislike Charlotte Flair as a person. There are plenty of wrestlers as a person that I dislike. Hulk Hogan and Matt Riddle being at the top of that list. And then I look for reasons to call them out. When I call Charlotte Flair out is because I specifically see her doing these things, and it bothers me because I know for a fact that she's better than that. I see her sandbagging, and I see the opponent she's sandbagging against, and yeah, I draw that conclusion based on it. If she has a shitty match with Shotzi Blackheart and Shotzi gets dropped and Charlotte doesn't roll for things that Shotzi's trying to do, and it makes Shotzi look bad, I'm going to blame Charlotte Flair because I know for a fact she has the talent and ability to roll through and make those things look good. And I've seen Shotzi hit those things on women less talented than Charlotte and hit it fine and make it look good. So in that case, when someone with as much talent as Charlotte is doing those things, and it's not just Shotzi, it's other women that are lower on the card that are just kind of matches she's going through to get to where she wants to be. That's why I call her out. It was the same thing with Io tonight. Io is fantastic. I saw Io go for moves that I've seen her hit cleanly plenty of times in other wrestlers that Charlotte just kind of stood there and didn't move for, and it kind of stumbled and stunted the move and then made it look bad. It looked clunky. It didn't look good. And I know she's better than that. So that's why I call her out for it. I actually like Charlotte Flair as a person and as a wrestler, because I know you brought up Rhea Ripley and what she's done for Rhea Ripley, and she's done it for other women. Rhea's not the only one. And when she does do it, when she wants to do it, she can. I will never say she has a good moonsault because she doesn't. That is just a fact. That is the one weak point in her game, is that moonsault when she's on, no matter what.
Sorry, I'm trying to take my hair out. Don't mind me.
Katie doesn't like her.
No, as a person, she's fine, but I'm sick of her sticking her nose in titles where they don't belong. There are other people on the roster.
But as this is me speaking, I'm a staunch Charlotte supporter. There's no question about it. Okay. The thing is, though, Charlotte is a career tweener. Okay. She is the same kind of tweener that The Miz is a lot of times, where you can love him, but you hate him, but you love to hate him. Okay. Her entire job has been built around the fact of people aren't supposed to like her. So you're like, as a person, I don't care. Like, Charlotte Flair's great. Ashley Flair, the person, is great. It's not a personal thing. It's her in-ring work, or the way she talks, or the way she walks. And it's like, yeah, that's because you're supposed to hate all those things, because that's who she is. That's what she's supposed to do. But here's my other, okay? As somebody who has spent, you as well, Katie as well, we spent a ton of time watching pro wrestling, okay? We've also spent a ton of time listening to people talk about pro wrestling, reading about people who write about pro wrestling, all of these things. So we know that recently in AEW, for instance, Thunder Rosa was called out for sandbagging, and it was the hottest topic in all of the IWC, correct? Have we ever heard about people coming out and being like, God damn it, dude, Charlotte Flair's a sandbagging bitch? Because we've only got one case of that, and that was beef between her and Ronda Rousey, of all people. And are we going to defend Ronda's word against Flair?
I mean, we also saw a little bit of it with Nia Jax, and a little bit of it between her and Becky too. So, however, WWE keeps a lot of that real life personal out they're not like AEW where that's coming out and people are saying that shit. Ronda, again, a different beast. WWE's PR team is far better than AEW's when it comes to keeping in-house shit in-house like that.
Also, in the same vein, Nia Jax and Becky Lynch have also both been accused of being incredibly firm in the ring and potatoing people.
Yeah, true.
So that would be just, being like, well, there was the case of Becky or the case of Nia. And Nia and Becky have also both been accused for the same things, where they're accused of, either no selling or being firm with people because they don't like the respect in a ring thing is very real. Becky's not going to put somebody over if she doesn't respect them. Becky comes from old school wrestling the same way Charlotte does.
Yeah. To the point that I have that Allison has. So here's what I'll say, Allison. You're right. People aren't always perfect. But if for as often as I see it come from Charlotte Flair, it's not on purpose, then she's not as good as you and will say she is. Because she can't be not perfect that much and it not be on perfect and then be as good as you guys say she is. That's what I'm getting at. As far as the sticking her, like that's booking. That's WWE. That's not Charlotte. That's not, that's how they book the character. Like that, it is what it is. It's annoying for fans, but it, like Will said, it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to like her. It's supposed to piss you off that she does that. And that's the booking on WWE's end. That's not anything against Charlotte. That's just the character. And if they're eliciting that response out of you, then they're eliciting the response that you want. It's people who are like, oh no, she's blah, blah, blah. And she should be there. That's not the response they're trying to elicit with stuff like that for the most part. Now, in this case where she's kind of a tweener baby face, at this point, maybe that is the response they're looking for. And when you're a tweener, it's going to be 50-50 on both sides. You're going to get people that love you. They're going to get people that can't stand what you're doing. It is what it is. But for as often as she does it with lower card talent that, as Will says, she doesn't quite respect or hasn't earned her respect, it's not a matter of making mistakes. It's a matter of intention. And if it is just a matter of making mistakes, then she's really not that good. Well, that's what I said. Maybe she's not good at maybe the plastic or what. I feel like as athletic as she is, doing a front roll shouldn't be a problem for her, but I could be wrong. Maybe there's something that she doesn't really have hips. Maybe they don't bend the way they're supposed to. I don't know. You muted yourself, Will.
I muted myself.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Muted myself, guys. I just laughed because you said she didn't have hips, and I was like, "What? She doesn't have hips?
Not really. She doesn't. Just kind of.
See, this is how you can tell
like
I'm not biased towards Charlotte because Charlotte doesn't reach my one criteria.
Her thighs don't touch.
Yep.
They do not.
Thighs
They
don't touch. We don't touch.
It's fair.
Okay, now see, this is a lot of it feels like you making excuses for Charlotte at this point now, where maybe she doesn't roll well, maybe she makes mistakes, maybe she's just really tall and it's hard. Like this feels like grasping at straws because you like Charlotte, which is the opposite of what you called me out for earlier, saying I don't like her, so I'm just picking on her to pick on her. Which isn't the case.
I mean, I can also name really tall other women's wrestlers who were fine. Michelle McCool being one of them. Probably like the best one out of like the tall women specifically.
Tall, skinny blondes.
Rhea's tall. Raquel, who we don't really like, but like Raquel's tall.
I can't believe I'm going to do this on air, and I apologize for this. There's an old saying in wrestling that says if you can't do it on the right side, do it on the left side. That's not a literal translation, meaning if you can't do it the right way, do it on the other way. It's kind of like figure it the fuck out. There's a reason why the rock bottom has happened the way it does is because Rock couldn't throw an elbow that way. You know what I mean? Like you have to find ways to make the moves work. If you can't do a hip toss the traditional way, you have to find out a way to make your body be able to do a hip toss.
Or you don't do a hip toss.
Exactly. So
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Will's sleeping on a couch later. Will's sleeping in his office.
I know you're giving examples. I'm just saying it's honestly not a bias. I enjoy Charlotte Flair. Like when she's on, she's fucking on and she puts on good matches, and I will give her props. Will gave one of the prime examples with what she did for Rhea Ripley. Two of my favorite women's matches of all time feature Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. I loved Charlotte versus Rhea at fucking COVID Mania. I thought it was a fantastic match. And probably the best women's match in WrestleMania history, in my opinion, is Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. Now, mind you, I still think Asuka should have won that one, but it was a fucking amazing match. And that brings me back to my point from earlier tonight is when we've had that match between Asuka and Charlotte, we've had multiple matches between Asuka and Charlotte. We know that the level that Asuka is on, that's why it bothered me that Charlotte steamrolled Asuka, and when Asuka is enough on her own to have a competitive match. And she was just dominating two women, one being your champion and the other have proving to be on the same level she is in the ring and damn near an equal. And she was steamrolling them for like 5 minutes. That bugged me a little bit because I felt like it protected her a little bit too much. It made her, but
I think that the Rhea Charlotte match was better than Charlotte Asuka.
really,
Like, yeah, not the COVID Mania one, the one from this year. It was night one of WrestleMania, I think, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I said that match one should have been the main event, and because it wasn't in 10 years, I have a rough draft written up for it, and I've just got to finish it and put the final touches on it, and I'm going to send it off for print. But the whole concept is we don't need to wait 10 years for Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair to be the Steamboat Macho Man of this generation. Like, it's already good enough to be that match. It took years for Steamboat Savage to be recognized for what it was. We don't have to wait 15, 20 years for that to happen now. Like, give those women their roses, because if that's the standard of what a 5-star, like, just chef's kiss match is, Rhea and Charlotte gave us that equation for a women's match in 2023 at WrestleMania. They gave us a perfectly executed wrestling match from beginning to end. That's why it was okay for Charlotte to be laughing and crying at the same time after the match, and for Rhea to be laughing and crying, and for Jessica Carr to be laughing and crying, is because they all three knew what they did that night. They all broke character because they realized it was perfect. And if it wasn't, it was the closest that anybody was going to get in this lifetime.
I agree. Back to Allison and Rhea not being, or Charlotte maybe not being able to do a front roll. She used to do the natural selection, which is literally a front roll into a cutter as a finish. She can do a front roll. She can do it.
She did that front roll as a B cup, but the double D a little bit harder to work with, brother.
They're not there anymore. She shrunk them down because they kept popping.
Yeah.
They're probably a C now.
But she's not where she was when, like, this is where she started, then she did this, and now she's back down, but she's still not. You see what I mean?
Also, I feel like if she's more top heavy, it should make the front roll easier. Yeah, it should carry the momentum.
It's usually how.
Because you start at the top and roll through. But
I took physics in high school. I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
I want to roll around with Charlotte Flair.
I know
you better learn how to fight. Andrade would kick your ass.
Since it was my anniversary yesterday, I was going to do this in the post show last week, and I didn't get to. I have something for you guys here. So last week, because of Pound Town Wrestling and all of that,
I know what you're going to say.
To create, if Smackin It Raw was its own wrestling promotion, what the 12 pay-per-views would be called, the concepts behind them, and also 2 weekly shows. They ain't together. I don't know who they are.
Apparently, her and Andrade.
Andrade and Charlotte They're not. It's like a separation, but not a divorce.
Oh,
They're taking a break.
Which
so
happens.
our Monday Night Raw would be No Protection Monday, with Rack as the GM, which I'm sure makes everyone happy. Then we would also have a Saturday show. It would be Scissor Me Saturday, with the Pornhub Poppy as the other GM. Our January pay-per-view would be Foreplay. It would have the Foreplay Battle Royal, which is essentially the Royal Rumble. The winner goes on to Pound Town in the main event, Pound Town being our WrestleMania. So this is the road to Pound Town. Starts at Foreplay.
That's usually how that goes.
Our February pay-per-view would be a Cyber Sunday-esque pay-per-view called Pegging the Fans, because we are pegging the fans for their votes on what is going to happen in this pay-per-view. March would be dedicated to light heavyweight and cruiserweight / X Division-esque wrestlers, called Size Doesn't Matter. It's a cruiserweight showcase. It's a match all about the cruiserweights. April, because not only WrestleMania, but WrestleMania falls around my birthday, and I'm the owner and runner and kind of sort of the GM of No Protection, is when our WrestleMania takes place, and that's going to be Pound Town. That's our WrestleMania. Our WrestleMania is now Pound Town. May, which this one's very interesting. Our May pay-per-view directly after our WrestleMania, which is what I feel like WWE should be doing, is Smash or Pass. This is a draft pay-per-view. So at the end of the year, after we've completed our WrestleMania, we go into a pay-per-view that is a draft. And the entire concept is all of the wrestlers from the previous year on either No Protection or Scissor Me Saturdays are competing. And the winner of each match, the brand that wins the match, their GM is then given 5 wrestlers that he has the option to either smash or pass. If he smashes, they are drafted to his brand. If he passes, they are automatically sent to the other brand.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be putting this out there live. There's a rest. I've already in my head gone, I need that, and I'm gonna send that one to Carm tomorrow.
Money in the Bank ladder match is the money shot. You win the ladder match, you win the money shot that you can take at any point, at any time. As per Katie, our July pay-per-view, much like Bash at the Beach, is a hot, wet summer. No gimmick there, because it's going to be summer themed. No need to have a gimmick. August is Slumber Party. It is our all women's pay-per-view. The theme song will always be Ash Nico's Slumber Party as we go into it. That is what it is. That's what it is dedicated to. That is our all women's pay-per-view. We will have one all women's pay-per-view every year dedicated solely to the women on the roster.
And I will be the one. I'm taking charge of that one, by the way. That's mine.
This is where things start to get really interesting. So now in September, we have Edging Your Bets. Every match, each competitor has to put something on the line. Whether one competitor can put money on the line if he wins, or hair, or whatever. There are going to be, if you win the match, you get something. If you lose the match, you get something. You have to bet something on you winning the match, and there has to be consequences for you losing, and there will be no title matches. So you are not allowed to put a title on the line. It has to be something personal to you at this pay-per-view. And the reason for that is because the following month in October for Halloween is the Devil's Three-Way, which all of the titles will be on the line in triple threat matches. Triple threat tag team matches, triple threat women's matches, triple threat main event, mid-card, all titles on the line in triple threat matches. So the pay-per-view before this, you will get no titles on the line, but every match will have something on the line for you to care about. Directly after that, all of the titles will be on the line in triple threat matches at Devil's Three-Way. Our November, which I think is my favorite pay-per-view, is the Key Party. Intergender tag teams are randomly paired by picking keys from a bowl. They then compete with their partners in a single elimination tournament. The winning team, each member of the winning team, so the woman from the winning team and the men from the winning team, earn a tag team title shot for their tag team at the final pay-per-view of the year, which is snowballing. Because we are snowballing to the end. So we're getting mixed match challenge. We have men's and women's tag titles. The winner of basically what is Battle Bowl, but intergender Battle Bowl. Each winner gets a tag team title shot for their respective tag team at the following pay-per-view. And then our last pay-per-view is snowballing. It is the final. It is, again, a winter-themed thing. And the only thing here is that you have your men's tag team title match with the winner of Key Party and your women's tag team title match with the winner from the Key Party from the previous month.
Will, thoughts, feelings, opinions?
I'm legitimately, Matt, like, I applaud you. That's super fucking well done. Like, all jokes aside, the hedge your bet stipulation is fucking genius, and nobody's ever done that before. Where in order to have a match on the card, you have to be okay with giving something up if you lose. Like, okay, you put your cruiserweight title on the line, and if you beat me, I'll shave my head in the middle of the ring. You know what I mean? Like, and the stipulations that you could put up, the money, like everything you said, genius. I can't believe nobody's ever thought to do that. The smash or pass concept of drafting your teams based on winning matches is genius. If brand splits were real and drafts mattered, that would be the perfect way for a sports entertainment like promotion to execute it and make a story that makes sense. I think you and I need a bankroll, because between the two of us, we could promote and book the fuck out of a wrestling promotion.
And the brilliance of the smash and pass is if you get past the previous year, you have 1 year to prove your worth and stick it to the guy that passed on you the year before come the next year for the draft. Like, it's motivation going into the next year, leading back to the road to Pound Town to be like, he didn't think I was good enough to be here, so he passed on me. I'm going to prove to him that he should have smashed me and what I'm worth. Imagine where Mist would come from.
Legit, like, wow, man. Like, well done.
Oh yeah,
I didn't pay attention to much wrestling because I was booking this, and I mentioned that, which was great that I didn't really have to talk about wrestling when I showed up last week because I had so many guests that I was just like, spit or swallow and just let you guys do your thing, because I missed a bunch of shit that was going on last week because I was figuring this out. This was shout out to Kings of the Ring. I don't know if they're going to hear this or whatever, but like this, I brought up Pound Town and then we started going back and forth, and that's where all this kind of snowballing.
Yep.
February or December pay-per-view. Into me booking all this shit. So
as long as I get the slumber party, that's all that matters.
And I'm gonna need one of you, because I don't think my phone's gonna allow it, to go back to this and clip that part and send it to me, where I explain all the pay-per-views and shit. I would appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm technologically impaired. I just have Travis do everything for me when it comes to computer stuff. So
I have a few things I want to spit and swallow real quick.
Okay.
I want to spit selling a pre-recorded press conference as a live press conference. That was fucking ridiculous, and it makes WWE present something that says we think our fans are stupid. Like, that was a pre-recorded press conference.
Tonight?
Yes.
From when?
I would. Did they say it was live at any point?
I don't know. I went downstairs after the pay-per-view ended to get a drink, well, my bottle of wine, and came back up and it was already started. So I missed the beginning.
I'm pretty sure that it wasn't. They never said it was live. I watched it happen, and if you watch a AEW scrum or you watch any of the things that go with it, they had the titles. That doesn't necessarily. I've watched Ring of Honor where they drop titles and tapings and have the later in the episode come out without them.
Keep talking. I can still hear you.
But I think that if you watch a wrestling match and you see the way people look after the match, like, did Io and all of those women and everybody else have time to go like clean up and shower and everything directly afterwards?
Well, I mean, Cody and Jay were first, so probably. Like, they were the first match on the card, so they more than likely had time. Io just had a shirt over her gear. Cena basically looked the same. LA Knight just put his clothes back on. It looked like, I don't know.
I just feel like
I also thought it was live, but especially because Cody and Jay were stoned. Because when could they have gotten stoned?
My thing is they could have recorded this at any point.
So here's my question. Was Seth Rollins, because I didn't watch I don't watch scrums, I don't watch press conferences. Was Seth Rollins there? And if he was, were the remnants of the red mist on him? Or was Shinsuke there with the red mist from his mouth?
I don't know if either of them were there.
They weren't. I watched the whole thing. Not that granted, I was recording with you guys, so I wasn't like balls deep into it. But there were things that made me go, this is pre-recorded.
Okay. I also feel, I mean, maybe not. I don't know what they do because my only person that would have ever been there didn't get accepted, which was bullshit. WWE, fuck you for not putting Katie in that media room. I don't know what they make you sign or what they make you do to go in there, but I feel like if it was before the show, some of those people in that media room are going to say something about it. It's going to come out.
Also, two things. One, the fact that I remember seeing something about them only doing press conferences for like the big pay-per-views, and yet they do one at Fastlane and I don't get one at fucking Payback, pisses me the fuck off. And they're really just letting anyone in these goddamn media rooms, and it's really starting to take me the fuck off. I just posted about it. How are you going to have someone asking a fucking Taylor Swift question to Io Sky, taking up a question from somebody who could have asked something, relevant to the situation that they were all in? But no, ask Io Sky, who just had to fight for her life. Do you want to fight Taylor Swift at a WrestleMania? Get the fuck out of here. No women asked a question. I don't even know if anyone were in the goddamn room. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, we had, what was it, 3 months ago? When the Triple H was like, more women, media room. Yeah. And every single, Jesus. Every single female content creator and podcaster that I knew was saying something about it and being like, I agree. More females, more people of color. Let's fucking go. And we got that for one press conference. Possibly two. And now it's just gone again. I am so severely sick of it. And it's infuriating. Oh, you want to fight Taylor Swift? You want to suck my dick, dude? He even tweeted, he was like, my wife told me, don't ask Taylor Swift question, and he did. And I said, you should have listened to your wife. Maybe your wife should have been there. She would have asked the fucking question. It's
why was like
there was no fucking reason for it.
I was gonna say, is Taylor Swift even mentioned being interested in WWE or that she watches WWE? Or
no, it's because she's popular.
I could have seen
again.
like Cardi B, maybe.
People who have like talked about it. Yeah, like Cardi B wants to show up at WrestleMania, which please, I love Cardi B. Like I'm down. but like she's expressed having interest in WWE and wrestling in general. Taylor Swift doesn't give a fuck. She's fucking Travis Kelce right now. She don't give a fuck about wrestling. She's busy.
After the way Travis Kelce's mom treated her, she might not be. She
Could
might
you
be writing her
imagine?
next breakup song.
Could you imagine how fucking just wrecked the internet would be if Travis Kelce just tweeted out, "Yo, dog, that pussy mid as fuck."
That'd be the funniest thing in the world.
Think about it. He'd wreck the internet. That's all it would take. Mid as fuck.
Because everyone would know what he was talking about.
Exactly.
He's trolling. Yes.
It's all going viral. The same guy asked about Cardi B question before.
Well,
He's
don't let him in
social
here.
media platform.
don't let him in there anymore. I'm fucking over it.
Yeah,
Put people in there who actually ask fucking questions.
I'm going to take Matt's platform right now to say that bullshit trolls who get in there because they've got 250 million fucking followers is dumb. The fact that Endeavor and WWE will just solely put people based on their social media following and not based on the actual content they put out, because there are people like Katie and people like Allison that get overlooked because of bullshit, because they don't have the same following as these other people that ask dumbass questions about goddamn fucking Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? Like, it frustrates me.
It's so it just makes me so mad.
Yeah. What was all that noise, Matt? Why did you look so concerned?
Did your door open?
My door's been open. I left it open, but I've been watching a lot of horror movies, and I thought like I saw something in the recording, like as I'm looking in the door. So I was looking to see if what I saw here, but I mean, I still see it when I look there, but I don't see it there. So I don't know what I see because it's so small back there.
I see what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
It almost looks like somebody's like
I kept thinking, I thought Kate was there.
peeking around the door.
Yeah, but then
I thought that's when you turned around. I thought Kate said your name and like you turned around.
So,
But I would have
so
heard,
thanks to,
but like
what
we
is
would have
that?
heard Kate. So
Yeah.
But yeah, it's extremely infuriating and pisses me off.
Will,
Sir?
do you have a time for me tomorrow?
No, because I don't, because she never got back to me, and I apologize for that. Because now
That's
that
all
you
right.
say that, I'm.
It
What
might
does
be
your
easier.
schedule look like tomorrow?
Well, I was going to say it might be easier to push it to next weekend when there's nothing going on and we can do it on a Sunday whenever you're ready to do. Like, if 11 p.m. on a Sunday works better for you, we can do it next Sunday at 11 p.m. I think that would be better because since you didn't message me, I was talking to Kate and I've got I made a list of shit that I want to accomplish in October to watch. And I sent it to Kate and she gave me a list of the things that she wants to watch with me, which means there's a finite window that we can watch these things together. Now, today we knocked out the newest episode of Masked Singer and the first episode of Loki. So those are taken care of. We have all 10 episodes of the new American Horror Story. We have 4 episodes of Gen V. And then movie-wise, Talk to Me, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey with a question mark because she said she wants to see it because it looks so bad, but there are other things higher on a priority list, like The Monster Inside, which drops next weekend, The Blackening, and Totally Killer. So between putting Zoe down at around 7:30 and then trying to squeeze something in with her before 11 o'clock when I have to do that, depending on when you'd want to go, because we had the pay-per-view tonight, so she just kind of had to deal with that. Pushing it to next Sunday would probably be better so that I could sit down and watch something with her and spend some time with her tomorrow before I do getting off.
The fact that I didn't hear from my sister today to tell me what her plans are for tomorrow would lend me to believe that she's not coming anyways.
Okay.
She'll come up. I love my sister. but she's more of a hermit than I am. So, yeah, I'll figure it out. I'm not upset about not doing it tomorrow. You know,
I also want to have, I want to be able to, like, because if I'm correct, we're talking The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking the other Shining, Dr. Sleep,
The other Shining.
movies and books.
Correct. She's seen the movies, but she's recently reread the books, and that's what like sparked her curiosity.
Yeah, because I've seen the movies. I started one of the books and I haven't finished it, and I can talk about that.
She's seen both movies. She's read both books. She's seen the TV series for The Shining. So she's seen kind of like all the different versions of it. You've seen the movies, and I've seen The Shining and Dr. Sleep and have read The Shining, and that's it. I've never seen the TV series or anything. So we have pieces of the universe that we're going to put together and kind of talk about it. Very similar to Michael versus Michael, where we talked about all three timelines like interwoven together. It'll kind of be like that.
I want to sit down and rewatch Dr. Sleep, and I started to, and
good fucking movie.
Yeah, just for that reason, because I am not as familiar with it. I haven't seen it as much as I've seen The Shining in and of itself. So I have it. I actually started watching it the other day, and then shit got crazy, and I never finished it. It's just sitting there, and then again, like, so this list that I made for 2023's October movies for me to watch. Now, mind you, like, there's stuff on here like there's going to be a new Goosebumps series that I want to watch, but if I don't get through a Goosebumps series in October, because it doesn't drop to the middle of October, and it's probably going to be, I don't know what they're going to do. We'll see. But Talk to Me, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Saw 10, which I'm hoping to do next weekend, since I didn't get to do it today. And honestly, like, Exorcist Believer wasn't bad, but I much would have rather sat down and watched a Saw movie.
Okay, good to know.
Did you end up being the only person in the theater?
No, there were about 6 other people in there. So when I got in there, there was 2 couples, and then I think another 2 women showed up afterwards. So there was 7 of us total in the theater, and it was a fairly big theater. I was the only one in my row.
Nice.
I also specifically took the middle of, like, the middle row in the theater. I was like, I'm not giving that to, like, people to sit next. I'm the only one that bought tickets. I'm taking whatever fucking seat I want, and everyone can figure out how to sit around me.
Yeah, literally.
But I got Talk to Me, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Saw 10, Totally Killer, Pet Sematary Bloodlines, Slaughterhouse, which comes out very soon. The Blackening and Monster Inside are all on my list to finish and have watched before Halloween or by Halloween. So, and I also have one more Nitro, one more Thunder, and Uncensored to watch, and then schedule with Travis, but that'll be in the morning. I'm not gonna. It's not a bad movie. It's just, I know what I'm getting with Saw, and I know what I got in that movie, and I would have preferred what Saw gave me to what I got here. Like, it's not bad, but it's also not something that I'm like, when this drops, I'm buying it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Or even like excited to rewatch with anyone when it's streaming. Like, this is something like, I'm like, I can't wait to, sit down and watch this with Kate where I don't have to pay for it, because then she'll watch it. Like, it is what it is. So it was fun. It was from the same people that wrote one of the writers of Halloween, from the same production company that did Halloween. Blumhouse, which I like most of what they do, except for Halloween Ends.
Blumhouse.
I watched episode 1 of Chucky.
I did.
You don't know why? You guys want to honestly know why I don't fuck with Chucky? And I said it in the episode of Getting Off, the movies that scared the shit out of us. Like, I haven't fucked with Child's Play since I was a kid because that movie genuinely scared the shit out of me. Chucky is the one horror movie that I don't fuck with because I guess, like, call it PTSD. Like, it scared the shit. And it's not like now where I'm like, I think Chucky would genuinely scare me the way it did when I was a kid. But because of how much I was scared of it as a kid, I've never given a shit about the series later now. Like, I've never rewatched it. Like, I've seen pieces of it. Like, I get the comedy of it now, and I bet the dry sense of humor is something I could really get into. But, like, it's just not my thing.
I know I've asked you this question before, Will. What is that picture right by your elbow?
That one?
Yes.
That is Macho Man Randy Savage and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at WrestleMania 3. Signed by Ricky the Dragon.
Because it looks like Macho Man Randy Savage tied up in the ropes like he was with Jake the Snake.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the reason I asked you this is because I have a Jake the Snake Macho Man picture back there, but it's at a different angle than what that would have been if that was the same picture. And that's what I always look at it and I think that I'm like, do we have the same picture from a different angle hanging up on
No,
no, it's not.
That's a super traditional, like, Macho Man move where he would tie himself up in the ropes. So there were a bunch of people that did it. But this is an original print, though, from Mania 3. So that's from 1988.
I'll tell you what, I'm all about Macho Man 1998 right now.
We're doing all of the month of October for WCW. We're watching old Halloween Havocs, and I want to get you on one of those. We just did 97. It looks like 89's about to win this week, which was the very first one. Like, and it's pre-recorded, and we drop it on YouTube, so we could just pick a night when you get off and do it.
Okay. Just have to let me know so I can watch it, because I've seen 95, 96, 97.
Mm-hmm. We just did 97. It's my favorite WCW pay-per-view.
Hold on. You're doing just
it'll just be the pay-per-view. And it'll just be like a review watch along of the pay-per-view where we like talk about the matches and shit.
Okay,
Really.
so but you're just doing it's any time in WCW, right? It's just
yeah.
Okay. So I have a request.
Okay.
2000 Halloween Havoc 2000, and here's why. I don't think Travis and I are going to make it to Halloween Havoc 2000. Travis is already talking about when we get to the point that it is clear that the WWF has won the Monday Night War, he wants to switch to something else, probably WWF starting in 96 and working our way through that. I've tried to talk to him. I told him, I'm like, there are a couple things I want to do before we get out. Bash at the Beach 2000 is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch the build and do that and cover that for an episode before we get out. Maybe I might do Bash at the Beach as a pay-per-view and then the final Nitro as like a goodbye WCW. But Halloween Havoc 2000, because I don't think we'll end up covering that. And also, I vaguely remember some of what was on that show, I think. Mm-hmm. Including the Demon. So that might be fun.
Finn Balor was there?
Not that Demon.
You gotta be more specific.
He's literally the Demon.
Yeah, that's just his name.
Or I'm sorry, the Kiss Demon.
He wrestled Vampiro in it was a graveyard match, wasn't it?
Yep.
What was that in? That was Fall Brawl 94, 97.
Let me look up the card here for Halloween Havoc 2000.
Because we just watched that one too, because Vampiro versus the Demon in a graveyard match was ridiculous. It was like the cheapest produced cinematic match I've ever seen in my life. Katie, I would also love to get you on WCW too, to get you to watch something from like the early to mid 90s just for fun.
First and foremost, the poster for Halloween Havoc 2000. The Unveiling 10/29/2000 live. The Future of Professional Wrestling. And Sting looking like he's Jesus Christ on a cross on fire is fantastic. Let's see what the card was. Natural Born Thrillers versus the Filthy Animals.
Uh-oh.
Reno versus Sergeant AWOL. The Misfits in Action versus the Perfect Event. The Filthy Animals also. Different Filthy Animals, by the way. Versus in a intergender tag team match, defeating Shane Douglas and Tori Wilson. Buff Bagwell versus David Flair in a First Blood DNA match. Mike Sanders versus Ernest the Cat Miller in a kickboxing match. Mike Awesome versus Vampiro in a singles match. General Rection versus Lance Storm and Jim Duggan in a handicap match, which means this is Jim Duggan as part of Team Canada WCW before TNA ever did it. Jeff Jarrett versus Sting. Booker T versus Scott Steiner. And Goldberg versus Chronic in the main event in a handicap elimination match.
That's nuts.
Yes, that is the one I want to watch. Mostly because you did just talk about David Flair in your After Dark show in
With
reference
Daphne.
to Daphne and all of that. And it is a First Blood DNA match. And that has me intrigued because that has Russo written all the fuck over it.
AWOL completely shifting the conversation. Okay. I was on Cage Match and I was looking at Charlotte's, like, the amount of matches she's worked, all of that. So I pulled up Shotzi's to go beside it, right?
Mhm.
Because it's like the yin to her yang, kind of, in a lot of ways. People use her as the antithesis to what Charlotte was, because Shotzi had all the success on the indies before she ever got the WWE, okay? There's two fascinating things from Shotzi's career that I look at in the 15 minutes that I've been sitting here reading about it, okay? Between 2014 and 2019, when she got to the WWE, she had 3 times as many matches as she's had since she's been in the WWE. So 2020 through 2023, all of her WWE run when she signed her contract, that is roughly 126 matches over those 4 years. In 2018, she had just that many matches in 1 year before she got there. Okay, this is what I wanted, the whole point of this, though. In 2019, Shotzi Blackheart had a match in Evolve Pro Wrestling, WWE, IWA Mid-South, GCW, Impact, Beyond Wrestling, First Pro Wrestling, and WXW in Germany, all in 1 year. That's nuts. They talk about making towns. That she put in some fucking work. 114 worked shows in 2019. She worked in March. She worked almost 4 days a week in March.
I think the only one of those that I watched that wasn't WCW, you said Evolve, right?
Evolve.
I watched that match because that was during the time when WWE was highlighting Evolve on the network, and they were pushing stuff, and there was a whole thing. And I watched that, and that was where I was first introduced to Shotzi. Now, talking about Shotzi in the way that we talked about Charlotte Flair, I love Shotzi Blackheart. However, as everyone who listens to this show and may or may not be listening at 3 hours into this live stream, if you still are, everyone knows that I am a character fan first, and character and presentation is what's most important to me, which is why I love Shotzi. I will not sit here and say that in ring, Shotzi Blackheart is as good of a wrestler as Charlotte Flair, because even though I cannot stand him, Shotzi Blackheart is essentially the female equivalent in ring style to Jeff Hardy. That is very
Shotzi
much.
Blackheart is a former IWA Mid-South Women's World Champion.
But that the ballsy badass, the things that she does are far more akin to what got Jeff Hardy over in her style and what she will put her body through and the things she will do to herself, more so than a Charlotte Flair or she's jumping off things, she's going through things, she's doing these things, she is much more of a hardcore women's wrestler than she is a mat technician. So I would never sit and say that Charlotte Flair isn't, or that Shotzi is on the level in ring of a Charlotte Flair, because that's not what she does. However, it is everything. It is her presentation, it is her character, it is her personality, it is all of that that makes her one of my favorites, because I put more weight into that than I do what you actually do between the ropes. As long as you are good at what you do between the ropes, you don't have to be the greatest wrestler. I appreciate good matches. I enjoy watching good matches, but you don't need to be that for me. And I think that is a prime example of the difference between fans of other wrestling and WWE fans is we expect less in-ring and more entertainment, whereas the people that don't enjoy the product think the entertainment side is too much and they want more of the technical in-ring variety stuff that they're going to see other places. You guys are really quiet.
I just coughed my lungs out. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
I'm just reading. I started down a rabbit hole, and I have this infatuation with a promoter, and in the 2 years I've been interviewing wrestlers professionally, he's like my white rabbit, and his name is Ian Rotten. He's an ex-ECW guy.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah. He doesn't do interviews at all, and he's really selective of who he talks to in the business. He's a big gatekeeper, and he's kind of my white rabbit. And when I find connections that I didn't know I had to people, I'm like, okay, that's another Ian person that I can talk to. And it was one of those weird connections when I saw Shotzi was the IWA Mid-South Women's World Champion. Then I saw people she worked in IWA Mid-South, and I was like, wait a second. That means this person was an IWA Mid-South, which means they know Ian's email. Maybe they'll give it to me.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Ian and Axel Rotten. One of those two became far more famous than the other in ECW. Taipei Death Match in ECW between them, the brothers. A Taipei Death Match is where you wrap your fists and then dip them into glass and then beat the shit out of each other with glass stuck to the sticky outside of a hard taped fist.
You remember when Orange Cassidy tried to do it in the Trainwreck match?
Yeah, Orange Cassidy did it at All In It, bruv.
Oh, yeah. I
didn't watch that, remember?
Well, I know. I was going to say that, but I remember you didn't watch it, so I didn't say it. But yeah, Orange Cassidy did that.
Spoiler alert, man.
That was months ago.
I would have watched it. I tried to watch it.
You really did, and I'm so proud of you for trying. And it's so disrespectful that they said, "Nah, he's fine."
But imagine if you started the match that way, both guys, and then
That's that. I don't like that. That's no. Why? For what? For what reason?
I had Jake Christ on the show like a month after he set Ian Rotten's titles on fire because Ian refused to pay him. And it wasn't a work. It was 100% a shoot. And he called Ian a cancer in the business and said that he was ruining it and that if he refused to pay his talents, he didn't deserve to have a world champion, and lit his world title and his junior heavyweight title on fire on Twitter.
That's actually kind of fucking dope.
So, but hold on. Let me ask you this, Will. Do you think because of that might hinder your chances of getting your white rabbit?
No, because I've made it a point when I talk to people about it and I've interviewed people. I say this every time because I'm like, I'm going to ask you this question. I said, because for every Ian Rotten's a cancer in the business and he shits on his workers, I have people on record that have gone, Ian would take the shirt off his back and give it to you to make sure you made it to your next show. If it was a matter of you needing gas money, Ian would give you money out of his pocket to make sure you made it to your next show. So I think that it's more of a who you talk to about Ian Rotten than it is Ian Rotten himself. You know, it's like the old homage about pit bulls. Blame how they're raised, don't blame the breed. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes that's more what it's about, like who Ian has worked with, like who the person that worked with Ian is, not so much about who Ian is as a person.
But what I'm saying is, because you said he's a little bit of a gatekeeper and is very selective. You having someone on talking about him that way, do you feel like having someone on that talked about him that way on your show after this incident might hinder him from wanting to come on this show because of that, is what I'm asking.
Yes and no, but for every Jake Chris, like I said, I have other people that have worked with Ian. I have a really solid relationship with a guy who's been on a couple episodes of Botch Spots with us that has held Ian's title. And he's one of the guys that is like, Ian would give me his shirt if he knew that I fucking bled all over mine. And he was one of those guys that was telling me those stories. So I have good relationships with people that I know have good relationships with Ian.
That
But
won't give you his email.
Huh?
That won't give you his email.
No, and I understand why they won't.
Yeah.
Like I 100% understand why they won't, because I'm going to have to meet Ian, and that's what I'm trying to figure out is a way for me and him to cross paths. Like,
well,
it's
the only
tough.
reason I ask is I don't know Ian. I don't know how he is, but there is the old adage that it doesn't matter how many good things you say about someone, they only remember the bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't matter how many good episodes of Smackin' It Raw we've had. The ones that stick with me are the ones that shit the bed. Those are the ones that keep me up at night. Those are the ones that bother me. So I don't know if having 10, 15 people on the show that have praised Ian for a great person for him would outweigh the one or two that came on and said, fuck that guy, he's a piece of shit, you know?
Oh, 100%. I have promoters that won't fucking touch me because the things that I have written or said about the workers and their promotion or the promotions themselves. XPW they have like made it a statement that if they have contracted talent, I'm not allowed to speak to them.
That's wild.
Like I'm black, but Rob Black doesn't contract his talents because he's a piece of shit. So it's like, you know, like if AI writes your legal notices, are they real?
No, they are not.
I don't know.
That's what it was. You did the Daphne episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in your chat, and I don't know if it slipped by you or not, but I asked you in that for your After Dark series when you guys were going to cover NWWL, the Nude Women's Wrestling League. I'm like, when are we going to talk about that on the dark side?
I wrote that down, NWWL, Nude Women's Wrestling League, because I was like, I've literally never heard of this. The Daphne episode, we talked about Wrestlelicious, which is a all women's like burlesque wrestling thing that Jimmy Hart owned that I never knew existed.
There are there's more than one. I've found them. I've watched them, pay-per-views and stuff. I can't remember the name of the other one. There are multiple wrestling leagues that featured women naked wrestling. One of them, a lot of it took place in like bars and shit, where it would just they go and have wrestling matches and they end up getting topless. Or this is run by Carmen Electra, featuring female wrestlers who were willing to and did wrestle nude. There's 2 or 3 pay-per-views. I think I've only seen 2 that I've been able to find streams and stuff of to watch, and I don't know that I watched the second one all the way through. There's one I've seen a few times that had Jimmy Hart, who was managing April Hunter, and April Hunter was there as well. Let's see if you're familiar with any of the women from the Nude Wrestling League.
Justin said send the link.
Send the link.
Literally just Google NWWL and first thing that comes up is Naked Women's Wrestling League, and then you can click on Internet Archive and there's stuff there. But I want roster. All right. So Carmen Electra was the hostess. Megan Summer, Annie Social, April Hunter, Josie Ann the Pussycat, Candy Smith, Kylie Electra, Melissa Coates, Mandy Weaver, Miss Bunny, Angel of Desire, Becky Brady, Cleopatra, Cruella, Dark Angel, Demonica Disco, who I'm pretty sure had a merkin, but I could be wrong. That could have just been Natural Bush. Harriet Bush, Lady Serpentine, Layla Hussein, Madison Esquire, Ninja Chops, Princess of Pain, Samantha Six, Selena Sanchez, Spitney Beers, Tiny Tina, Trish the Dish, Twin Peaks, and Wicca St. James.
Justin found it.
Only a few of these women can you click on their names and it actually takes you to other things. Annie Social being one of them, who worked for WEW, Women's Extreme Wrestling. Women's Superstars Uncensored and in Shimmer, and JPW Women's Division. So she was out there doing shit.
That's wild.
Doing shit.
Yeah, wrestling.
Look at Matt talking about all kinds of stuff, not WWE, AEW related.
I know. He knows other things. It's crazy. I'm so proud.
I'm just looking at the women that I can actually click on to see if anyone outside of Annie Social has really done anything, but it's 2 a.m. for me and Will, 3 a.m. for Katie. We've been on stream for 3 hours and 19 minutes. I think that's a long enough show.
Yeah.
Allison, if you're still awake, thanks for hanging out. I see, a little while ago you dropped some Dickosaurus Rexes. Just, thanks for hanging out. First blood matches must be tough in this promotion. Depending on what time of month it is. And that's all, folks. Bye.